at least the bathroom pamphlet version.
Yeah, what, where it's like, oh yeah, the Emperor wasn't actually a god, and then everyone's faces melt off like the arc opening in Indiana Jones.
Pretty much, since our warrant was
Your
we got
warrant
our
was
warrant
indeed
signed
from
from
that
him.
era, so I would not be surprised if being confronted with the Imperial truth doesn't happen one day. Indeed, I can't remember exactly, but I think Stray even said, like, it's inevitable. One day you're going to come face to face with that truth, and then boy, are you going to feel stupid.
What?
One day the
Me?
Emperor will die, and then one day he will reincarnate, and then again, and then be
That
back.
was like, I'm not down to clan with a lot of Warhammer stuff, but I thought that that was an interesting theory. It's like, those idiots, if they just have a little faith in him actually being sort of kind of a god, then they'd just let him die and he could come back powerful again.
Oh god, he would come back
Respawn.
powerful again, and then the fucking like Crusade #2. Let's
Well, first
crusade
of all,
harder.
it'd be the Great Crusade #2. But when he wakes up again, he's going to be very, very cross at the Ecclesiarchy and the Administratum in general.
Well, yeah.
Well, you did see how Gulliman responded to the whole Imperial faith, right?
Gilliman was not happy.
No, Goldman was absolutely sick, but he realized that, this is what's keeping these people together.
Yeah, no.
Okay, unfortunately, I'll play along
Yeah.
for now.
And then he'll arrive at playtime is over. Or
Oh,
even
yeah,
worse, if it's like if they follow weird rules of reincarnation, he comes back as a god, but he comes back as a god after doing like a time loop in the warp or something, and he's just actually some kind of, like anime characters wake up in another world. He just goes through a weird storyline he learns to love. Emperor, what's wrong with you? I saw things and they were moe.
No.
What is Moe, and is it a heresy?
Go
Bad
away.
and God, yes. Bad and me, yes.
Oh well.
But no, since the story of how our family gods weren't still fucking hilarious, I firmly believe that somewhere deep within the family archives there is some shit paperwork that details the Imperial truth.
It'll be a grand day. And everyone will be like, no, you're all wrong. It's called the Forge Father, you fucking weirdos.
Since ancestor Archimedes, Deimos Kiefer,
Kiefer of Sutherland.
Yes, Archimedes Deimos Kiefer O'Sullivan Euryquides was such a charismatic son of a bitch he managed to con the Emperor himself.
I just like the idea that there are just random heroes, but the natural order of like names and things is that they must inevitably loop in on themselves once more, and just out there somewhere is like Grand Trooper Nicolas Cage. And it's just like that's a reality, is that because a name can't just not happen again in like a time loop of infinite potential, there must inevitably be out there somewhere, or one day to be, Trooper Cage. How's that for an Imperial truth, you heathens? Yeah, are we ready to rock and or roll?
Yeah. Everyone here and ready to play?
Hold on.
Alright. I will take this opportunity to top off my coffee and then we'll start.
Fair. And I shall tell the world that it is time to trade rogues.
I already have.
Ah,
so-
you beat me too. Okay, that's fine.
At
with
least,
me.
at least in the Discord.
Yep. I like lean out the window and scream it at random stoners. Greg is going through old magic cards to sell. Sounds like he's found some decent ones. So does that mean that there's another Taserface too? I'll get off this right here. Oh yeah, Space Trooper Taserface. No, that's actually some kind of Nurgle spawn Taserface. Gotta watch out for that one. Oh, that thing was called Fight Chub. I didn't even notice. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Goodness me. I'm ready to walk across the galaxy. Probably filming. Fate back up. Dum, bum, ba-dum, dum. I've been writing about a big old Futa Elven orgy recently. It's going okay.
Nice. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's a much more fun than the previous commission I was doing.
What was that one?
I don't want to go into the details on it.
Okay.
It was a like mind controlly one, and it's just not my fetish.
Ah.
What? Okay.
This one's about 7,000 words of just like fucking foos and gunplay and stuff. I'm like, all right, that works for me.
Okay. Everyone here?
Yep.
All right. Welcome back to Rogue Trader, everybody. Last time we were, I think we spent a lot of time on the station, down there at Footfall. Some stuff went down. You guys got Marcus back, and your janitor started gluing them together. It was great. Everyone's having a good time. No one's asking what glue he's using. It's totally fine.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
I know, right? So, what else? Ambrosia and Kat had a fight, and then a fight of a different sort. And you guys were heading through the void of the Coronos Expanse to the entire other side to where the Void Sentinels were.
Oh right, yeah. The cat was being like actually charming. Forgot about that. And then Ambrosia failed her save versus Swoon. She didn't get Resistance Swoon as a talent. Paid the iron price.
She's not expecting.
I hope she's not expecting. I thought she was trying to avoid getting pregnant.
Yeah. Ambrosia can't get pregnant if it goes in the other person's butt.
Oh, right.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's when you find yourself. You got to keep her. When you find yourself a girl, you ask her if she does anal, and she says, "That's all I do."
Well then, Kanathis.
I don't know.
What are you
Right?
shenanigans and up to?
Looking prawn.
Okay.
Look at the purity seals.
Huh. How very pure.
Genius.
Purity seal pasties. It's the cunning. A delicious heresy. A sexy heresy.
Ooh, tasty.
All right.
Wait,
and
what's
I
that
think
down there?
what?
Take a real close look at that. What does that say down there? The D-E-U... Does that say Deus?
I don't
Oh,
know.
Yes.
No one in chat will know exactly what we're
No,
talking about.
exactly. But yeah, I like to imagine that on the ass spread right across it, it says Vault.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah. I believe we've been like just in flight for a while now.
Well, it's very taxing. So you guys have just spent the last.
Oh.
Are
you lagging out there, Stray? Or is that on my end?
He is, yeah.
Oh. Oh, bye, Stray. Hello, Stray. Working? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Okay. How much did you hear of me?
Fuck all.
Basically nothing.
Great. Wonderful. Alright. So, you guys are taking a little bit of time to let your navigator rest because warp travel is very strenuous and she just kind of turned you guys away from being part of a Space Hulk.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. In the end, we avoided. We came into contact with the Space Hulk that we're totally not going to see again in another form ever, right?
Never gonna see that Space Hulk again.
Shifty eyes.
What a world.
Why?
What a world.
Why couldn't it have just been Vermintide Deathwatch?
I mean, that is like something that was jokingly alluded to, but they just exterminated the planet that the were-rats were on.
Well, no, I mean, I was just more talking like, why couldn't they have made fucking Deathwatch as good as Vermintide? Bastards.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Deathwatch tabletop game, which is separate from Space Hulk Deathwing.
Wing. Oh yeah, fuck. Stupid many names.
Well,
Don't worry, next comes Murder Deathfly, and then Kill Vision.
Deathwatch is a chapter made of veterans of every chapter, and they're often seconded to the Ordo Xenos. Deathwing are the first company of the Dark Angels chapter.
Right.
Yeah, they're a company, not an entire chapter. But
Misery does love companies.
I mean, it's grimdark. They have to use death in literally everything.
Yep.
So, yeah. Unless you guys want to do something else, you are going to go into the warp.
At some point, I need to invent some kind of very gothic character named Misery who just has a thing for companies of Marines. Fucking just Misery loves companies.
Alright, so, you guys are making track to the warp, unless someone wanted to do something before you took off.
Nope, I just accidentally closed Discord. See you when it pops back up.
Okay.
I just now, so let's see how long it takes.
Oh yeah, I wonder how long it will actually take for you to disconnect from the call now that you've clicked close on Discord on your dying machine.
Bob, did you just close the app? Or did you do the actual method of closing Discord?
It might actually just be minimized in your system, Trey.
No, yeah. I actually clicked the exit button on the app. So
okay. Wow, your computer.
Okay, never mind. It is. Yay! It was hidden away somewhere. Hopefully it doesn't just disappear. Thank God. Anyway, that crisis averted.
We did it. All right. So, we are headed to the warp, and I'm gonna click this button. Go away.
Who could have done that?
Yep. Stop playing with it. I will take it away from you.
Stray, shouldn't His Majesty's health bar be full?
It should. I think the last time we used this, you guys, no. Last time we used this was last week. I don't know why it's not full. All right, and let's see if anything happens. Oh wait, what the hell happened? Oh, okay, never mind. Guess what? Nothing happens.
Woo!
And so you guys are going to be. Are you going to try to push to make it all the way to the Void Sentinel fleet and the Accursed Domain in one go, or that will require at least about 2.5-3 weeks in the warp?
What's the usual limit for safety?
1-ish.
It depends. You also have a Warp's Bane hole.
Would Marion like to have a break somewhere? That's the decision is ultimately up to her.
We do probably have backup navigator. She's just the main one.
Don't worry, I'm about to colour Cerator Prime in pink, so it becomes a pleasure world, and then we're fine, right?
Alright. This is about as far as she's willing to go, and that's about a week and 3 days of travel before she needs to take another rest.
Sure.
Oh, we went right past a pleasure planet. Oh well.
Well, you could go like 4 days in the warp from where you were back here, and
Pass.
go to Solus and Carmine, and then go to Sarada Prime, and then go to the Void Sentinel fleet from there.
But to actually enjoy Solace and Carmine, we'd have to arrive and travel for a couple of weeks far enough in system, and then make nice enough with Winterscale's minions, and it'd be a several month detour.
Look, let's get to the Knights first, so that hopefully they can kill Cthulhu. Then we'll come take over his pleasure planet.
You're asleep.
Z.
Yeah, no, I would like us to have them go fucking kill Super Demon and also, go save my people on Kion.
Ever notice that the God Emperor's Scourge is heading in the general direction of Magnus in the Unbeholden Reach?
No.
So.
Huh.
It looks more like it's heading towards Frozen Sisters to me.
Okay, so the God Emperor is going to go get bitches, okay.
I thought this was more like a gash and it's just spewing stuff out like in an arc like that.
Anyway.
Since the God Emperor is spewing gash, it's fine, you guys.
You guys, the God Emperor's Scourge isn't like a giant nebula. It's a rip in reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
So it's the mini Eye of Terror. That's wonderful.
It's one of the many millions of warp storms. Yes, that's.
I mean,
unusual.
Look over there. Look over there. Look over there. This is tiny as compared to all of this.
Yeah.
So, anyways, would you guys like to plot a course then? Would you like to try to skirt the Undred Teeth? Would you like to go around and then down? Would you like to try to cut a path, galactic southward and then back up? What do you want to do?
I say we cut outside Lathamon's death and then go kind of close to Cerator Prime and just kind of make a beeline for him.
Yeah.
It sounds good to me. I say we go kill everyone on Stompkit first, and then onto the Void Sentinel fleet.
There are more orcs, and I think I have cells in my body on those planets, so...
Well, I mean, your character's low on cells right now, still trying to work back up to the proper number.
I will say, it will be pointed out, but basically everything in these squares are all orc territory.
Sounds good to me. Let's go fuck up some orcs. I'm pretty sure His Majesty's Stern Boner can really fuck a bunch up on the way past.
Yeah. So long as we stay in the outer regions and don't actually
go in
straight through hundreds.
Yeah, alright. So maybe not into the Undred Teeth, but... What is... It looks kind of like a vague attempt at writing Suka. Oh, right, Wag. Okay. Should have guessed. Although I suppose that looks more like Wug. Wug! You're saying it wrong, orcs.
I was actually just drawing that for image reference of what is technically their territory.
I think we can figure it out. Yeah, I guess,
I
yeah,
don't
skirting...
like drawing on the main map.
Yeah, I guess skirting Lathamon's death, and then up to Cerata Prime, and just, cruising, murder any orc that's in our way seems like the coolest option. Ruler will admit, never seen orcs before, heard a bunch about them, would like to see a bunch of them destroyed.
Use the Schwartz sister. You can do these.
Yes. I have no objections to this plan.
Alrighty then. So, you're going to jump into the warp. There aren't going to be any warp shenanigans while you go there, and you are going to spend a couple weeks transit going to the planet known the dead world known as Lathamon's death.
It was really not as pleasant as Lathamon's birth, but arguably less messy.
Hmm.
Wait, Sarator Prime's an unclassified world. That could be more bad.
That's fine.
I mean, we could just cut past it and go straight to the fleet.
That would be, what, another week in 3 or a week in 4?
How so? I pointed out with arrows your route you want to take.
Like, this is a week in 4, right?
Yeah.
So would this also just be a week in 4 or a week in 3? As opposed to stopping at Sarator itself?
Yeah. You pass the danger of going through orc territory, but the straightest is the fastest.
Yep. I would happily see His Majesty Sternboner, schwaffle some orcs.
Alrighty. Let me just click on this. Alright. So, you guys are going to enter the warp and spend about a week and 4 days in transit. Hey Rem.
Yes.
Willpower.
You're entering
Okay.
the scary door. Ow.
What is that?
What?
There was a crackle noise coming from your end, Rob.
It's probably me unzipping a bag of like York peppermint patty M&Ms, I guess.
Sounds nice. Peppermint is a delicious flavor. Where'd that willpower at, Remy L?
All right. So, as you are asleep in your little bacta tank filled with not glue made from orc paste, you see the bit more of the play unfold. You see through this creature's eyes again as more and more of its followers turn to the worship of these these 3 or 4. It can never be certain. Usurpers in the warp, and as time goes on, they become rebellious under the yoke of their rightful ruler. It's very early on, and perhaps it even thinks to itself that it was arrogant to think that these little creatures would pose no threat to it. But the first um, sign of resistance was when they imprisoned his favorite. It's hard to think about. It's both herald, a child, and creation in a frozen tomb in
Avatar?
the center of a planet. No, not an avatar. A thing that it made of itself. Your mind can't really comprehend what it's these visions that you've been shown. But this favored creature of it, frozen in the center of a planet far away, and they began to um, through their worship in the sorceries, he sent out his own people, and they began to the society fractured into a great civil war, which, well, was amusing to it at the of whoever died he managed to devour, but sometimes the souls would be stolen away by the usurpers, and it very, very much annoyed this creature. Oop, oh, okay, here we go.
I was going to say, your connection is still, like, occasionally staticking in and out. For the most part, we're getting what you're saying.
Let me just start turning off a bunch of stuff in the background. Hang on.
That might help.
I blame Steam. It's always Steam's fault. And that said, if it helps, I can change our voice server again. Let's see here. Right now we're set to USC. Would USC help more, Stray?
Hang on. The thing is, my runtime broker was working at like 30%.
Curious. Okay. I will leave servers be then until there is more inevitable fuckery. This is where by the time we reach the Void Sentinel fleet, it's turned Marcus into a sympathizer, and he wants to save the Great Beast.
Nope. And as your vision unfolds, you see a great ritual where an entire planet threw its entire planet of rebels threw themselves threw themselves upon their own blades to create a spell, or something to reshape the fabric of reality to imprison this creature. It admits to itself with a bit of chagrin that it didn't anticipate this trick. However, as it was pulled into the crystal shard into which it was going to be imprisoned, it did one final curse upon the Agarian Dominion. He drew upon the souls of all of his worshippers to completely and utterly shatter and erase from existence this people, not by a method of like changing a timeline through warp fuckery or stuff like that. No, instead he completely shattered and consumed their souls and trapped their minds within the very crystals of the cities, forever doomed to be travel and trapped within those crystals until their all forms of sentience were lost, and it's just uh, you know undirected malice.
So this is gonna take a real bunch of heresy to put this thing back in, or some shenanigans.
I vote shenanigans.
Though I travel now into the Valley of Death, fear not, because I have a whole Void Sentinel fleet. That's going to be how it's resolved. Don't you worry.
Sure, we'll just get on the line and be like, "Hey, we need a Great Crusade here, like now."
And as that final flash of insight into the creature's mind fades, Marcus wakes up.
Oh shit.
Marcus, you are currently suspended in what appears to be like liquid oxygen in a faintly glowing room. And tell me, is this the same room with all the strange clones? Did you guys put it in the same? Are they all in the same heresy room? Because if so, you're looking at all of your little Rick clones. Just
Yeah.
In the,
oh no, it's Cronenberg, Marcus. Look out.
I start screaming mildly and And, well, I have jaded, so it's more like a what the fuck is this? And I start smashing on the door.
I feel like
You knew the clones
if
were
he,
there.
yeah, I feel like if he was close to waking up, if like his body was mostly repaired, I would have wanted to move to a different room.
Damn you, Cronenberg, Marcus.
All right. So, did you want him moved out of the heresy room? That was my question.
Well, here's the thing. Would Cal have been able to tell he's going to wake up soon? And would he have told me?
I don't really think Cal would have known. He's kind of putting him back together with a bunch of goop and hoping it works out fine.
Oh, then no, he's absolutely in the super duper heresy room.
Ultra Max Harris. Well, define heresy.
I'm not calling it my heresy room character.
All right. So, Marcus, you wake up, start yelling, pounding on the thing, and Argus will shuffle into your room and then wander over to your tube and press a button, and suddenly you feel very sleepy and you fall asleep again.
Shh, shh, shh. You saw nothing, boy. You saw nothing. It's all just a
Ambrosia,
dream.
it's about 8 hours after you exited warp, and it's probably just after dinner when Argus contacts you to tell you that your brother has woken up.
Woken up. Have the surgeries been finished then?
They
I was about to tell Rem, but all right. Yeah, they're as far as he knows, they're mostly done. Honestly, you were so badly wounded, he threw a bunch of stuff to the wall and was hoping it would stick.
I used I used many experimental techniques to bring him back. His body was savaged, his mind destroyed, his soul intact. So I was able to bring him back.
Very good. I shall send down some servants to escort him to his chambers. Do have him presentable and ready for transport to a more comfortable location, Carl.
I would most likely have to move him to a new location first. I should not let your servants into my experimental research and development room.
Precisely why I'm giving you the warning.
To my standard research and development room.
Well, fine. Use some of your servitors. Send him up yourself.
Very well. Oh dear. He's quite upset. I'll get back to you. And at that point, the sedation happens, and yeah, they start shipping him out to the other room.
Okay then. So, yeah, Marcus is currently sleeping in medbay. And you guys have a couple of days before you enter warp for the last time, before you enter the system and start hunting for the Void Sentinels fleet. What do you do?
Am I awake at this point?
Well, this is the first day. You're going to be awake in a few hours, but I was wondering if anyone was going to do anything before Marcus woke up.
She's probably like checking on that section of the ship that's been converted over to boozering and testing their first run of fire water. Not much, of course. Not but a few sips.
Alright.
That's about it. She doesn't have any major plans. It's mostly just trying to find busy work whilst they've been hurtling through space. Yeah, no, Rula has no plans of import. You continue on. Indeed, I'll actually be back in a moment. Fetch a fresh drink.
Cat is probably going to be getting drunk and or high. Just somewhere.
Porque no las dos.
Ambrosia will probably be tutoring a pretty little fuckboy junior officer about this is how you run a void ship.
I mean, you know, in between being buried inside, right? If you can't run a
In
void ship with this kind of...
between.
well, if he... Well, during, you know. If he can't run a void ship while that's happening, then he has no business being a part of this ship. I mean, come on, really. Don't they teach this to everyone at the Imperial Naval Academy? I think they do. Might be thinking of the wrong game.
They might have different methods of simulating stress, but the end result is the same.
Alrighty. Well, since no one has anything to do, yeah, we're going to move ahead to Marcus. You wake up in a less horrifying situation.
I'm alive. Well, that's a... Yeah, that's a start.
Ambrosia, did you go down to wait till your brother woke up, or what?
I'd have given orders that I would be informed when he wakes up, but no, not waiting for him.
Alright. Well, Marcus wakes up. You receive a message, and Marcus, before you've taken, like, 3 breaths as a free man, you already have a drink in your hand. You don't know how it got there, but it happened.
Does it smell strong?
Extremely.
Yay.
Cat might have gave it to him.
Yay, I needed this.
Cat was waiting there the entire time, just hiding beneath the bed, and just... Well, no, not hiding beneath the bed. He got drunk and or high, and then passed out underneath the bed, and has handed off, like, the bottle.
Here you go, man. I'm done.
A mustard-stained shirt attached to a hand hands you a bottle of incredibly potent stuff.
Pants. I have shit to do. Swig. Oh man, he couldn't have been here with 2 Let me see if I can remember this quote. 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-powered blotter acid, a solid shaker half full of cocaine, a whole galaxy of multicolored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, also a quart of tequila, a quart of rum, a case of Budweiser, and a pint of raw ether.
Wait. Cat would then probably wake up and be like, hey, that sounds like my sort of gig. And then goes back to sleep under the bed.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
There's you know, you get up, you put on your pants, There's a very disheveled man underneath your bed. He reeks of the same stuff that you're drinking.
Good God, the hired help these days.
You have no idea.
So he starts walking to the oh,
Well, more like limping in a great amount of pain.
hired help. Go get me a stick. I kick him awake. Hired help.
Why?
Stick. Now.
Why not the one up your ass? What is this?
I kick him in the head.
Oh. Oh. He'll probably drunkenly wander off somewhere.
So I'm just assuming that this is just Marcus with a drink in hand, only with pants on, just attempting to wander his way to his ship. Shit. What do you call it? What do you call
No.
it? Place where place where I steer ship. What was it called?
Bridge?
The bridge.
Helm?
Thank you.
So, Argus will tell you that he's alerted your sister that you're awake, and if you wait a moment, she'll be here. Though he could lend you the use of a servitor to help you there if you want, or carry you on his shoulders.
Servitor piggyback ride, yay!
Yay!
I'm a man. I can walk myself there.
You know, more of a picky front ride then.
You say that, and Cat has drunkenly already jumped on one's back.
At least give me a palanquin then.
Take me to my knight. I want to stand next to it. It makes me feel manly.
Get me a palanquin.
Palanquin?
Yes.
I don't even know what that is.
You know when like the sort of Arabic hand carried like carriage thing.
Oh yeah, those things. Okay.
Okay, all right. He's gonna do that by getting the servitors to put you back in your bed and then pick up the bed and carry it with it. There's your
I
palanquin.
am surprisingly okay with this.
You found the exact same picture as me, just a totally different link and different size. Go fig.
I got the link before Google had finished loading it.
Ah, interesting.
So I basically just got the thumbnail and you got the full version.
2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-powered blotter acid, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, a whole galaxy of motor colored uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, and also a quart of tequila, quart of rum, a case of Budweiser, a pint of raw ether, and 2 dozen amyls. Now, we needed all that for the trip, but once you get locked into a serious drug collection, the tendency is to push as far as you can.
Hi, Winter.
Huntress Thompson.
There we go. Hi.
Yo, how was Pizza Land?
Busy, but not too busy.
Good enough? If it's boring, if it's not busy enough, then it's the fucking worst time. And if it's too busy, it's the second fucking worst time.
Marcus is
Honestly,
alive.
I'd rather have it slow than rush.
Yeah, so I suppose I've never had to do that retail style.
Marcus is alive, has a drink in hand, and is swimming in chems. I think he's gonna be all right.
Followed by a man who's equally drunk and almost as high, and wished to be as equally as high.
And is piggybacking on a servitor.
Oh yes.
Take me where you
Where's
will,
my
magical
gun?
ugly pony.
Janitor Cal
Where is
contacts,
my gun?
Janitor Cal contacts Ambrosia and tells her, your brother just left on his bed, carried by a couple of servitors.
So can I get a recap here of what's happened?
Marcus woke
That
up.
just happened.
Huh?
And Marcus woke up and is now being carried to the bridge on his bed, palanquin style, by two servitors, whilst a also shit-faced and high Cat Macroma is riding piggyback style on top of a servitor, following along.
You seem to be
Also,
forgetting
we
that I'm
need a
demanding a
couple of
gun.
Sorry.
I really feel like there is some kind of safety protocol that says don't give the rogue trader a gun when he's in that kind of condition. For his own safety more than anyone else's. You just got
How
those
long have we
toes, sir.
started?
Please don't shoot them off.
About half an hour ago, Winter. We also
Okay,
made
thank
a
you.
couple of warp jumps, and nothing interesting happened on those.
We are in
Okay.
one piece. Although we run the risk now of getting orked on.
Where is he heading?
I think he started yelling something about the bridge and his gun.
Oh. Well, it will be easy enough to intercept him then. You may return to your work, Janitor.
Constructing
You
Marcus
hear
2.
you hear vaguely creepy laughter, and then it shuts off.
At least he loves his job. That's an important thing to get out of a person.
Also, I imagine that the last couple of weeks, Rula and Tam have just been barking at each other.
There has probably been some measure of barking.
What, sniffing?
No.
The firm line at that joke.
Absolutely. She's just... It's a joke that they've had to, you know, already, like, she spent how much time away? She spent not exactly a massive amount of time in football. She already had to get over those jokes immediately. It's just like, fuck off.
Clearly splitting her time between that and hitting on the body-gloved xenoscientist.
Yeah, probably like a little bit. She kind of likes Eldar, and they seem to be like the witch aliens, so it's not exactly her jam.
She's just a xenoarchaeologist. She's pretty much studies everything.
Yeah,
She
that's
just
what she
knows
says.
a lot about Eldar because she's been, hunting them.
I saw it was on your data slate, and it didn't all look like research.
Shifty eyes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you can't trust them when they do magic.
Wait, I only have pants on. Where are the rest of my clothes?
On, still probably perpetually burning in the warp.
This is a minor problem.
Hey,
Hired help.
Marcus. Toughness test.
Does decadence count?
No.
I think I know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if you knew what was about to happen.
He screams and shits himself.
Oh no, you're fine. You suppress a sneeze. Carry on.
Oh, I was getting ready to have a manliness off. I'd probably lose, but
He sneezes and then just another head comes out of one of his legs. Whoa, shit!
Someone really give me my gun.
I'm the original Marcus, you phony.
I'm so sad you didn't fail that. That was going to be funny.
He's gonna have Marcus Snotlings.
Carry on. Carry on.
Hired help. Go get me my clothes. You can take the servitor with you.
Me?
No, the person behind you. Of course you!
Oh.
Dude can't even know where his pants are. Well,
No.
the rest of his not pants.
I do
Period
want to see
wanders
what
off.
happens if Cat
Okay.
wanders off to find pants. Find him a week later.
I do have pants on, I will say that.
But they aren't in nearly jewel encrusted enough.
Or would it be funnier if I was just in one of those hospital gowns doing all this?
No, you got pants on.
But
It
since it's
saves
40k, they're
some
like, you know,
dignity.
those white, poofy, like, gothic pantaloons.
Ugh.
They stop just below the knee, and they poof out at the leggies.
Oh, if he's going, he's totally taking that rear. He's the rear servitor with him, so it just drops the back half of the bed. So it just,
Yeah, but then scrapes the first servitor doesn't even notice and scrapes the bed across the hallway.
yes, for like miles.
I start slapping the servitor behind the head. Fix this!
Yes.
So, do I intercept them yet?
Yeah. You intercept them basically at the moment when he's screaming at what you can tell to be a very drunk and high Imperial Knight to grab his clothes.
So, this is how the heir to House Urquides conducts himself. Dear me, brother.
Cat looks up. I know the heir to House Urquides.
Burp.
Hello, sister. How was your day?
I look. I look at Marcus. I didn't know you had a sister.
Of course I have a sister. This is my ship.
Huh.
Congratulations, Marcus. I don't think anyone will have told you yet. You're now the most expensive man this side of Mars.
Am I? Oh, I guess I did take a bit of a fall. Then there's the crunching feeling and the burning feeling. Oh yes, I am alive, right?
No, you're dead. This is the Emperor's paradise. Me disapproving of you for all of eternity.
Wow, then he has really let go of his quality control.
Yes, of course you're alive, brother. Please, as if I would allow both of us to die at once.
But I suppose it's time to get serious business. As soon as the servitor actually takes me to my bridge, I have been having visions, and I suppose that they would be important.
Your quarters first, brother. You need at least something to cover up those stitches.
I have pants and a shirt. Well, sheet.
Toga party.
I'm not dead yet, so that must mean that I still have work to do.
And then you see a totally unknown person with dog ears one drawn up.
Oh god, since when did we allow mutants on our ship?
Mutant? You can go fuck yourself, sir. Also, a pleasure to see you back from the living, fresh in the forge.
I'm sorry, did the mutant just insult me?
This is on your seneschal, brother.
She will grin, tip an imaginary hat because her current hat isn't quite tall enough to her needs.
Ah, so she works for me.
Blink slowly. I'm working for the one who isn't being dragged around half naked on a bed by a single servitor, actually, and point at Ambrosia. But all things considered, I guess sort of technically as well. Yes, the name is Ruler.
Marcus Altheric Phalon.
Presumably Urquides at the end of that.
Of course.
You know.
Now where's my gun? I feel naked without it.
Finish your drink, brother, and then pour another one.
Well, I need another bottle if I intend to finish.
Another bottle? Well, allow me to immediately ingratiate myself. large portion of the ship has been given over to brewing fine new alcohols, and I've just gotten a test bottle. And she will hold out what appears to be a bottle of clear spirits filled with flecks of something you don't know. Enjoy.
Very well. I drink.
It tastes like fire.
All right, so in the middle of your conversation, Cat very drunkenly just stripped off his clothes and then wrapped a sheet around himself and just started chanting Toga.
Our
Quote
hired
unquote.
help.
Sir.
Our hired help has gone down in quality, sister. We need to fix this.
Ah, I do forget myself. Brother, allow me to present Sir Cat Macroma, an Imperial Knight in my service.
Not the of the Macromas, is he?
Apparently.
Oh dear. I'm gonna need another drink. Besides, this is too weak.
Quack a brow at that. Oh, I'll have to see to it again.
It's not strong
Don't
enough.
worry about
I didn't put enough promethium in it.
Don't worry too much about my brother's review. He has rather a habit of stronger than mere mortals can survive.
I suppose
The
as
Imperial-
evidenced of his coming back from the dead.
The Imperial Guard has trained me for worse.
I thought the Imperial Guard trained people for diarrhea in a ditch.
You funny.
Thank you. Should look confused. How many painkillers are you still on, by the way?
I am swimming in them.
Hmm.
Frankly, I cannot feel this bed.
Well, it's not a part of you, so I'd hope you couldn't.
These my feet.
But still, can I get some clothes and maybe a gun and what? The hired help. I sent him to go get these things, and why hasn't he come back yet? Oh wait, no, not hired help.
No.
Toga!
Oh wait, not hard. Bop.
Thump, rumble, tumble.
Yeah.
And of, by the way, pastries. I'm in a hankering for them.
Give me many donuts.
Yes, have Taryn make me a cake. I am hungry.
She's dead, brother.
Oh, that's
Very
unfortunate.
dead.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Anyone else?
McCraw.
Okay, so no one important. Very well.
I was sort of expecting to hear, "Oh, he was my favorite," but that's out of character. Oh, McCraw's my favorite, and then move on.
Grit's teeth.
You seem to forget that I had a distaste for aliens.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're
I'm
a
aware.
human.
Yes, that's
Both the Urukides probably see it as somewhat of at least breaking even, if not a value add, that they're both gone.
No, I see it as a minor loss since we lost a baker.
What about the candlestick maker?
He's
Not
done.
Waxy Greg!
But yes, as soon as I get some clothes on, we need to discuss.
Oh, and your
something
gun,
important.
brother. Your gun is dead.
What? At this point I hop off the bed. What happened to my gun?
Toughness test. Alright, your rage at losing your gun means you don't immediately collapse on the ground crying from pain.
Well, as it turns out, Archaeotech is not quite designed for falling several hundred meters.
Well, neither am I, but I
While
did
I'm...
it.
Oh, yes. But you are of stronger stuff. You are my brother, after all. It's theoretically salvageable. The Eldar did give us its remnants, but... It suffered more than you did, brother. Just leave it at that.
Ruler is already pulling out like just a visitations report and loss, like a profit loss graph essentially.
That's unfortunate. So I am supposing that. So what is our core?
We are, with fair tides, 2 weeks away from making contact with a chapter of Astartes.
Excellent. We will need them for what we need to do.
Yes.
No, you do not understand what that fucking orc woke up.
I know better than you think, brother. I visited the witches
I saw what it did with
before
my
we
own
could
eyes.
recover you. Well, that will be of use.
Hired help, go get... Wait, you're not hired help anymore. Yes, as I'm climbing back onto the bed. Yes, someone take me to my clothes.
So that singular servitor drags you away because the second one's just stood there like unknowing what to do now that it's pulled off the palanquin.
Other servitor, get back on here. I will not have these floors scuffed.
Oop. Lift.
Do it.
And my toga gets caught on the robot, on the servitor.
Double time.
So he's just getting dragged behind the servitor.
Ah!
I missed Marcus.
Yep. So you brought that one back. Interesting choice, ma'am.
Yes, the other side was strange. Saw through the eyes of an eldritch being.
Pulled off.
My bad.
Once he's a little more settled in to being alive again, I'm sure he'll be at least part of the way back to his usual spirits.
Well, if you say so. I mean, I've gone through a number of ship's historical records. He spent 3 years on a pleasure planet, basically injecting himself with alcohol.
What?
Oh yeah, no, you've got some very interesting records hidden away there.
Show me that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are a few things about yourself. Not quite so extensive, I suppose, but, you know. Start rummaging. Yeah, she'll swipe around to a data slate. It looks very similar to one of those profit loss graphs again, except it's just all straight losses incrementally as time goes by.
Really? His entire regiment was deployed to guard a pleasure world.
I don't think they guarded much of anything. In fact, judging by some of these expenditures, I'm pretty sure they damaged more than they protected.
Why in the Emperor's name are we liable for this?
Before my time, I'd have probably put up a good argument, but, yes, no, it would seem at one point he filled the grox with a viscerine and rode it through a hotel, smashing every room on the way through whilst proclaiming he was king of the Amasak. I tried to get footage, couldn't find any. So, I mean, it might be a lie. A very strangely written one, but a lie, maybe.
Yes. There is no way that that could be accurate. Marcus would not be satisfied with declaring himself king.
Fair enough. swipe across in a few pages. Yes, no, I've been trying to get up to date on your brother's exploits. I mean, he's done some exploiting, I suppose, which is part and parcel for the rogue tradering thing.
How
I've
many
never told you
bastards
that-
do I need to have assassinated?
Oh no, it looks like that got handled.
Oh, good.
Have I ever told you the story of the time that I almost killed a regimental commander with a las cannon? It was a mistake, but it was good times.
You know, I don't think we should leave him unsupervised. Come on.
I'm more concerned that he was in his underpants and screaming about a gun. But sure.
Well, no, he.
Trust me, that's normal for him.
Well, also, slang is different. Pants, but we mean like actual pants on, not
Oh, yeah,
underpants.
pantaloons.
Yeah. Different slang for pants means underwear. in
Yeah,
England.
yes.
Yeah, he's actually got floor length pants on. That's about it. Yeah, no undergarments. He didn't ask for those. He asked for pants.
He got
Oh,
pants.
so he's
That's what he
freeballing.
got. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Janitor Cow gave him some very suspect smelling pants.
They probably got Suspectia as well. I'm so full of painkillers, I've been shitting myself for the past 30 minutes. Didn't even notice! Delightful.
Cat might have threw up on them too, or threw up on them at some point.
You don't understand. I have imbibed so many different drugs and alcohols, plus the male branch of the family's legendary tolerance for such things.
I thought you were about to say the legendary, the male branch of the family's, like, genetics or some shit. Just, I also drank some things that I wish I hadn't.
I may or may not have powdered and snorted an Imperial Saint.
All right.
No.
No wonder the Ecclesiarchy hates you guys. You snorted Saint Jerusalem.
I will be totally honest, if that was one of the things that Rula had shown on the datapad, I would have actually had to strongly consider killing Marcus. That would just not be on.
Yeah, no, it's just footage of him wearing like a saint's forearm bone as though it were a strap-on, going, "Look, I have a holy penis," and it's just that, but for like hours. It's just the content doesn't even change. CCTV had him standing on the same spot, just shouting that. Hours.
At a time.
Yes, yeah, he came back. A day later, with 2. He just found
Ritually
some other saint's forearm to also turn into a strap-on. That one wasn't even in the vault. Don't know where he got it.
You don't seem to understand drunk magic.
No, I understand drunk magic. If you start your evening on the night train, then you wake up in Tibet.
Did I ever tell you the time that I commandeered an Imperial cruiser? Well, not ours. A different one.
She's built like a steakhouse, but she handles like a bistro.
I find that hilarious. I've never heard that saying before, but I got the joke.
It's an old Futurama one. Zach Brannigan is just made of quotables.
Oh yeah, see. God, yes.
I kind of I'm surprised that Marcus's first words were, "I trust the orgy pit has been scraped and buttered."
So, I guess we're establishing Marcus's backstory of, oh god, why?
Yeah.
Of he did what now?
It's that equivalency of rolling for girlfriends, except yours is rolling for drunken things you fucked up.
Or did I ever tell this time that I shot an orc war boss straight in the head and he died immediately? It was hilarious. They were all making him up to be some big tough thing. I shot him with a sidearm, no less, and he just dropped.
That one is less believable than the filling a Grox with a viscera and charging down the hotel proclaiming you're the king of Amasek, actually.
It was Grand Poobah of Amasek, but that was almost completely true.
I feel like from now on, at any point, whenever Marcus is called to question, Ruler is going to recount some other horrible thing he's been up to from his ship's records. Just every time now. I hope you're aware of that.
So what, Marcus is going to become the most interesting man in the ship?
Yes, like, I'm basically going to kiff you every single time you do a thing. It's like, of course, apart from the time where you, would seem here tried to get the sororitas into a pillow fight. Apparently it ended with 4 broken ribs, some laser burns, and it would seem that a saint snorted some kind of promethium cocaine mixture off of another man's boner. There were no survivors.
So I'm assuming that the record doesn't cover the fact that I walked out in a suit of Canoness power armor.
Yes, it seems what you did do was stick flexible rubber dildos to a penitent engine and told it to wave through the heretical vaginas. There were no survivors. The potential way for every story to also end.
You don't seem to understand. If you continuously get into shenanigans, at least make sure your shenanigans end up to the Imperium's advantage. It got to a certain point that these heretical sons of bitches could not predict me. Ergo, we could do whatever he wanted. It was the most successful defense of the Pleasure Planet from a massive Slaaneshi cult that the Imperium has on record.
Does the record show whether a Slaaneshi cult existed before Marcus arrived?
Flick. 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 Inconclusive. Welcome back. Ants and ant accessories. Now you can get them little purses and sunglasses.
Trying to think of a good story Cat would have to even have a chance of one-upping some of this.
Just Cat doesn't remember any of his, so they must have
that's-
all been awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright. So, Marcus is back, and you guys are doing some running in orc space. So, how do you feel about a D100?
I'll do it.
Yeah!
Shit.
Huh. Alright. So somehow you manage to hang around in orc space and not be noticed. Literally a 10% chance. I wasn't expecting Winter to be able to roll that well. Good job, Winter. You did it.
Yay.
It's because there wasn't a dodge roll that followed immediately afterwards.
Literally this literally this close to orc space, it was only 10 and below where nothing happens.
I'm kind of sad that we don't get to just fucking annihilate some orcs.
I know.
Oh, there's a return, Jenny.
There's a reason why I was quiet for a while when I realized you guys were gonna go this close. I've been pulling up like raider, frigate, and cruiser things for orcs. All right. So Apparently you guys are chilling out in orc space and everything is fine. They just don't notice you. Although I am looking at like the orc components and they're so great. There's warp engine, and you know how? Okay, for example, like warp engine for like a wolfpack raider is uh it has a proper name, like like say a Johnson style warp engine. The warp engine for an orc is just literally here we go, here we go.
Yes.
And then the other component is really big teeth. The other component is air pumps. Best not ask how this works. Other component, boys barracks. No self-respecting orc goes anywhere without his boys. And the thing that I was going to be so excited about is literally just big red button. If this vessel chooses not to turn, it may move an additional 1d5 VUs during its remove maneuver action.
Orcs are the best race in the entire universe.
I
Very
know,
true.
and I was
Yes.
so sad.
You
that
can
they
get custom
rolled-
engines, lookout towers,
Yeah.
extra smashy ramming spikes, some dagger control, grottos, squig pens, a red paint
Don't
job.
worry, guys. We are actually gonna run the Warp Storm trilogy, so there will be orcs. It's okay.
God, capital ship upgrades, ooge armor plates. Okay, go figure.
Yep. It's just like you were gonna be able to maybe face like an onslaught orc raider, orc kill cruiser. It was gonna be fun. But oh well.
That's amazing. A bigger red button. Just extra
Yeah.
switches and levels around a big red button on the bridge, which must obviously
Yep.
mean if you press it, then more fuel goes on the engines and it goes faster.
Yep.
Oh, one of the weird boy abilities, which is get a move on, or I'm bored or something like that. It can make any vehicle he's in, or so many companions if they're on foot, move like either an extra VU or an extra like 30 feet or an extra movement phase, basically.
Rad.
Yes.
All right. So, Marcus, you're going. Oh wait, where he's still BRB.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're just going to enter the warp anyways, and then we can timey-wimey what he did, like the day after he's fixing himself, putting himself back together.
Sure.
Womp. And we are going to enter for about a week's worth of warp travel. Let's see what happens.
Death.
No. The Astronomicon's light begins to flicker as you guys enter a rather strange pocket of the immaterium. Someone roll me a D100. That isn't Winter because he already did it.
Sure.
Alrighty, you guys have added about 3 days. When you guys exit the warp and you start to check your chronometer, you are in fact 3 days ahead of when you were supposed to be here. It seems you have moved through the warp.
As in, we've arrived 3 early?
3 days. You've arrived 3 after.
Oh.
Okay, so instead of like 10 or 11, it takes 13 or 14 days. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very a 6. Yeah, a 6 is very minor. It's basically either you arrive faster, nothing happens, or you arrive later.
That's fair. No, Ruda's just annoyed at like any kind of extension of time, but I suppose I can't complain. I did kind of spend a very long time traveling what was essentially floating salvage.
And Anna just hates it when Anna hates it too, and when they arrive too early, and when they arrive on time. She just hates everything.
Yeah. So Ruler, as a rule, really fucking does not like psychers or witches or any of that shit. However, she is a person who is continuously on fire. I think she actually gets a pass. That's kind of my religion.
Woo. Unfortunately, it's impossible to charm Anna.
No, get Anna a very, very fireproof vibrator.
Oh, you took the boring talent. I see.
Yeah, I was kind of. It was a random roll, and I went with it.
Fair, fair.
Cold-hearted.
She's as cold as ice, except she is
Gelding,
always on
actually.
fire.
All right.
Drone
we're gonna
wed.
Ah.
move over here, and yep. So what happened is you guys entered the warp. You rolled a 6 on a stuff that'll happen in the warp. Occasionally, I'll do that to see if anything interesting happens. And you rolled time fuckery. So you arrived 3 days after when you wanted to.
God damn it.
So yeah, is there anything you Marcus wanted to do before you guys entered the warp though?
Get my pants, get my clothes back on, see the state of my ship. Wait, what? According to Pets, that was one edition, Anna.
Yeah, that changed. Just remember.
Yeah.
Now that I'm on second edition, that doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, what, that throne word thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a teensy schmeet's a bit different, yes. Bow, bow, bow.
And I'm also going to be taking the time to explain exactly to Ambrosia what have I been seeing in these visions, since they're probably going to be important. I saw the birth of the chaos gods themselves.
Note to self, get Marcus a vibrator.
I already have a vibrator. Her name's Chloe.
Aww. So this creature is truly that old.
It is older than anything recorded. I'm fairly certain it's older. Well, frankly, I saw the birth of the Eldar. Kind of funny that they call us a young species and they can claim I saw their own birth. Kind of funny how things turn around like that. But I digress. How they managed to stop it, in order to recreate that would be a heresy of the highest order. Problem.
Well, even with the delays we have had, it has still only been awake for a short time. Perhaps we can simply drive it back into its prison?
The crystals of those cities themselves hold the consciousness of the beings that stopped it in the first place. Granted, they've probably been driven insane, much as I most likely have been, but if we cannot drive them back, they might still know something of how to seal in the first place. Their shredded remains, at least.
Well, if they're trapped in these crystals, unless you have some insights, brother, we have no method of communicating with them regardless.
The Void Sentinels are, if I believe them so, Specialists on beasts such as this. They might be able to know something. Now, Stray, question for you.
Hmm.
The beings that sealed it into its crypt, were they the same, like, small, stubby, bug-like creatures as the ones that
Yep.
originally served it? Okay,
Yes. There was a civil war.
Okay, and the tall giant ones were what?
There were no tall giant ones.
Okay.
No, you might be thinking Strayfinder. There were tall giant humans in Strayfinder. In this game, all of the bugs had, huge towering, giant edifices built, but they themselves were only about a meter tall.
Oh, and I also figured out why, when we traveled through those crystal cities, the paths kept changing on us. Yes, those shattered minds were actively keeping us out. Is that right, Stray? Something about them like fucking with us or something like that?
I mean, you could probably surmise that. Though, after so many millennia, you could also surmise that there's probably very little left sentient in them.
So, yes, until we get options from the Sentinels, all I have are disjointed memories.
Elshian may be able to help you make some degree of sense of them.
I wouldn't recommend sharing these memories with anyone lightly. It is of memories of something so vast, so ancient, so dark. It would be hard for any to embody them. I'm surprised of the progress that I personally have made.
It may be necessary.
Toughness test, Rem. Hey! You sneeze, and something comes flying out of your nose.
The hell? What comes out of my nose?
You pick it up.
With a hanky, yes.
It's a teeny tiny mushroom.
I quickly put that in the hanky and hide it.
It grows into a Marcus-based snotling, which means it's just a snotling but drunk.
Oh my god, I'm making Santa's drunken elves!
Santa, Satan, same diff.
Santa's drunken elf. Wait. If I get enough of these, I could replace slave labor down the holds.
Yep. You could literally have, like, little shit-faced Marcus Oompa Loompas.
Oh, that's a wonderful thought.
I know, right?
Uh,
Oompa Loompa, drunkety-doo. I can't remember what I was supposed to do.
Get back to work!
Help! Abuse!
There's a reason why this is rated R, not rated PG.
What do you get when you tumble downstairs? I'm pretty drunk, so it don't hurt to be fair. I can't lyrics count the similes. Oh, everything sucks.
I shoot one just for good measure.
Yeah. It's like they always start on rhythm and then crumble into just painful, warp-torn, shit-faced nothingness. The turnover is exceptionally high.
But continuing back to the serious topics. Where were we again?
Mm.
You sneezed
I
a
have
mushroom.
no idea.
Yes, and I collected it up into a hanky and put it in my pocket for later. Now, as I was saying, sister,
Yes?
do you believe that these Void Sentinels will be able to help in this situation? I mean, yes, I believe you said the witches had something to say about them?
Rather, whenever I close my eyes, both the closer we get, it fades, so it is still there. The Void Sentinel fleet was burned into my retinas. They are our one and only hope, I think. Or at least the one and only one that the witches would permit us to take.
Very well. We should make good time for them.
Yes.
But getting back to other topics, I need to see if I can get Beep Boop to look at this gun.
You will most likely be the best bet, yes. Good luck, brother. You do hold rather a fair account of yourself when you have it.
I would like to make my way down to Beep Boop.
Alrighty. So, what you're gonna do is you're gonna make your way down to Beep Boop and try to look at your weapon, yeah?
Yep.
He will tell you that your weapon is still in working order, however, the damage it sustained means that it is no longer as reliable as it used to be. In game terms, this means that your Archaeotech las pistol now has the unreliable condition.
Can you repair this?
D100. He tells you that it is repairable and that they might have some of the equipment necessary on the ship, but it's still going to require an incredible amount of time and resources, specifically resources that they don't have at the moment.
Very well. I see. So long
If
as I
if you could find those specific resources, certain copies of STC manuals, perhaps. Perhaps if he isn't mistaken, you're going to meet some Astartes. Their tech marines might be able to, share what they have. Otherwise, your best bet would be to ask Magos Helios back at Footfall.
that too may work. So Tech Marines and the Magos himself. I see. Very well.
Is there anything else?
At this point in time, no. I mean, aside from maybe a shooting range, just to make sure it's alright.
I mean, you can take the weapon down to shooting range. If you fire enough, you'll notice that, for the first time you've ever fired it, it jams. Like the first time in family recorded history, it jams.
I didn't know this could jam.
Didn't know it couldn't. You'll see Rula wander on up to it as well, and she's got a very, very fancy archaeotech weapon of her own. She'll look down on the target. It's a shame your gun is all damaged and such.
Oh? And what do you have there?
Bang! This is named Nocturne's Rancor. To say it is a gift and an honor would be an understatement. Eesh, you rolled as high as my target number. And still hit. Unfortunately, I'm not much of a good shot. Thankfully, this thing is most deadly at incredibly close range.
Well, yeah, because when Marcus fired his, it drilled a hole through it. When she fired hers, there's no more target anymore.
It is indeed a sanctified, reliable melter pistol.
Mine's just
Infernal
an
pistol.
Archaeotech last pistol that's, well, pretty much a sniper pistol.
I happen to have something else, but it's still a work on progress in being able to wield it in the first place. And she will hold up a very heavy-looking briefcase, crack it open, and then essentially just rest on a counter a great big Archaeotech bolt gun.
Is that what I think it is?
It's named the Dragon's Roar, and it is one hell of a gun.
Now, is that just like a straight up bolt gun?
It is.
That's an Astartes
It's the
pattern bolt
Astartes.
gun, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I can't even wield it with one hand.
yeah, it's an Astartes pattern bolt gun from the time of the Great Crusade. It even has like tally marks and seals and like little scriptures
A
telling
heavy weapon
about
to me, yeah.
battles it's been. Yeah.
How delightful! Someone give me a brace. I wish to fire this.
She'll stare at that. I understand that you have very much the run of the place, but you're going to have to do a lot of asking nicely if you wish to fire this.
Please?
Very well. And she will like stand aside so that you can like grab it. It's currently like rested up on essentially a mount so that it can be fired.
I'm half tempted to just see if I can standing fire it and see how many meters it throws me backwards.
But I'm sure you don't want to damage your own ship that badly.
Okay, can I try to fire this thing braced?
You can, but you also need to take what, the -20 for not being trained.
Yep.
So you can take a half an action to brace, and then a -20 for not being trained.
And that means you can you can't use an aim action then, can you, if you have to be braced, right?
Yeah. So no aim action. Well, because it's a half an action to brace.
Half action brace, half action aim, fire next round.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can hang on. You can't do a full aim, right? Because you have to re-brace each shot. But you can hang on to a previous aim. That makes sense.
Pretty sure you have to brace before each shot, though.
Yeah, but you can do brace half aim and then brace shoot. You don't lose the half aim you had previously unless you were forced to take a reaction.
No. The weapon will only cease being braced once it's been moved.
Okay.
You only have to brace it once and then you can keep shooting round after round.
Alright, I'm just gonna fire one round of this thing, alright?
Sure. Go for it. Reliable tearing.
Fire in the hole.
And then yes, one
Alright.
single round explodes a target.
Delightful.
It kicks like a mule, but you know, for an instant, you feel the hand of the Emperor on your shoulder.
Oh, and it feels so tender.
Yep. And
Is
then
that
she
supposed
will,
to be a drawback?
yeah, she will then reverently return it to its briefcase.
I haven't felt a caress like that since Tortuga Prime.
I've seen the records on that one. I don't really want to know about any of the caresses you received on Tortuga Prime.
It's where he got half of his harem.
And the tattoo. And
That's
the
why
other
we don't
tattoo
wanna
that you
know.
don't know
Yeah.
about.
You want to see his two-headed eagle tramp stamp?
It is 100% a tramp stamp.
Would you like to see my ever-present ruler?
I'll pass, thanks.
So, getting back to slightly more serious topics.
Yes, I suppose at this point Ruler will also show to Marcus, since they're in the same place, the message from the what's his fucking face that she had stored on a little data pad.
Xavier.
That was it, Xavier.
Yeah, Chaplain Xavier. No, Apothecary Xavier, yeah.
Yes, Apothecary. This is originally my purpose for being on this ship, or at least coming into being on this ship. My people need a great deal of help. We've been holding the line for a very long time, alongside the Emperor's dragons.
Now, ruler, I do understand that this is why you came to us, but do understand that the quest we are on ourselves.
Oh yes, I've been
the creature
brought abreast.
The creature that those Xenos released, if your world falls, one world falls, possibly the system around it. If we do not succeed in this quest, not just one planet, not just one system, potentially the entire Imperium, we will save your planet. I will I will personally lead the charge in your planet to help you. But the greater view before the lesser view. And I do not mean to insult you with that. But first things come first, and then not only will I help personally lead the assault, I will see if I can call in a few favors from my old Imperial Guard buddies.
As such as that shouldn't be necessary. At the very least, the intention is to present this information to the Void ships as well. I mean, I've been trying my best to catch up on information. This is the kind of thing that, you know, the Marines would want to know about. And hopefully one of the ships of their fleet will be able to, if not enforce the wall until, you know, it can be blasted, then not just solve the problem for my people. That's at least the hope. We have a great many relics that have been protected by the apothecary, and I believe that they are intended for them.
Very well, but we will see what we can do in time.
Of course. And she will give Nocturne's Rancor a fond pat and return it to her belt. Pull up her briefcase. Best of luck with the gun. And saunter on off.
At that point, I honestly don't know what else Marcus could do at this point.
Cry.
Cry.
My gun jammed.
Aside from seeing to his harem and potentially asking Beep Boop, why is my gun not firing and how do I fix this? No, I probably know how to fix this.
You've been told.
Probably. I fixed the jam.
Alrighty. So back over here. So, back to current time. You have just exited the warp around the area where the Void Sentinel fleet is said to be lurking. It seems to be a cluster of 6 or so star systems.
Alright. I guess I'll
What
look
do-
from side to side. I suppose I probably do some of the talking stuff, but I don't know how to send out a broad message on your ship yet. How do we let the fleet know we're here without, just flying into them and possibly getting blasted for, spooking a fleet?
Set up the Vox for the broadband call.
Alrighty.
I would like to point out the Vox systems are radio, and it would take like a couple hundred years for them to actually get to those systems from where you're at.
Bridge to Lord Slate.
You hear a bicep flex on the other end of the Vox.
Audibly flex.
Yeah, he flexes audibly. That's how you know he's listening.
Slate, you can send out a wide astropathic message to these nearby systems, correct?
I can, my lady.
Flexes affirmatively.
Alright.
Like he doesn't
Ruler?
actually talk. It's just by the way he flexes, it can kind of sound like an affirmative or a negative.
Yeah.
Ruler,
Yep.
you shall have the responsibility of drafting the message. And I believe you already know the pertinent information.
That is correct. Goodness knows I've had plenty of time to re-review it, and re-review it a few more times, tut disapprovingly, and then re-review it again. And she will, I suppose, head over to the astropath personally.
Alrighty then. Astropath Slate receives you in his astropathic choir. What do you send?
Is it his astropathic gym?
I mean, there's nothing to say there isn't a bunch of like workout equipment around.
Catch him in the middle of his morning pose down. Yeah.
He may have just crushed a cannon between his biceps. Sure.
Yep. Can crush an orc between his biceps.
He may be the only astropath with like a 60 strength.
Yeah. He has the bulging biceps thing, even though he shouldn't have any of the aptitudes for it. He just does. He doesn't even use it. He's never picked up a gun in his life. He just has bulging biceps, just in case.
He has all the unarmed and natural combat traits, obviously.
No, I would love if he's a pacifist. he's the most silly jacked beefman, but he's an absolute wussbag. He wouldn't hurt a butterfly.
He does all of it to help tenderize the meat on Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah. And the area we're in is the thingy domain, yeah? I can't remember. Cursed
the
domain?
accursed domain? Yeah.
Cool. This is a broad message to the Void Sentinel fleet, located within the accursed domain. This is His Majesty's stern gaze. We have just exited the warp as of, and then she'll toss out the date and time. We require immediate assistance in a matter of most vital import. Beasts from beyond recognition have come to wakefulness. Their worlds themselves, to the insert whatever sector it was, fall by the day and by the hour. Please respond should you receive this message. And then, yeah, just have Slate essentially do it on loop. If she does, in fact, here's the thing: I might even have a call sign or something from knowing El Dragonos.
Sure. What kind of role would that be? Yeah, sure. How about you give me? Let's see. What do you have? Let me look at your character sheet. Let's look over here. Clicked on the wrong one there.
Yeah. I think the closest I've got to like particularly odd lore is just being maxed out on Archaeotech. Let's see.
Don't have any ranks in tech use.
I've got maxed Archaeotech, just not actually using stuff. I've got that knowledge part.
Tell me what. You throw me an int test for just having like pulled up a Stardate signature throughout all the time you've been on from all the time you've been on Kion and all the stuff you've been in. I'll give you just a raw int test to have like have it on your data pad somewhere if you've ever managed to pull it up.
Cool. It's fate
Should've
reroll.
Should have just been D100, but who cares?
I mean, you can just click the intelligence button.
Just reroll. It's fine.
Yeah. There we go.
Sure. It's an old code, but it checks out, sir.
Nope.
Okay. So, astropaths can't put things on repeat, but because that's not how that works.
Yeah,
but
so
he will send he'll send your message through the astropathic wire. So, is there anything you guys do while waiting for a response from, or if there will be any response from the Void Sentinels? And can you type out all you had sent them, please?
Yeah, sure.
I put on my best uniform.
Well, your Rosarius and your armor are shattered.
Alright, I put on my other armor.
Okay, well, you can... what other armor did you have?
All traders start with best quality carapace or light carapace.
Okay,
I think it was best quality lathe armor. Lathe carapace.
Best quality? Alright. How much of your livery has like symbols of like a cup full of wine?
I don't even think our coat of arms has wine on it.
No, our coat of arms doesn't, but Marcus could have his own version of it.
We designed Marcus's personal coat of arms.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Let me dig it out, then.
Alright. And while you guys are waiting for this, I am going to go use the restroom. So, like, grab drinks and stuff like that.
Yay.
Alright. I mean, the one for Marcus we did was just like the regular one, but with like the symbol for like the air on it in silver and black. You could definitely further customize it and add more stuff.
Would putting the Archaeotech last pistol in a cup in a chalice of wine be inappropriate for that?
I don't think so.
I forget what exactly is family motto again. I forget what that means.
Surely
It's
it's
somewhere in the depths of our PMs. Hold on.
it's wubba lubba dub dub.
Gloria
I'm
Imperio
s-
non negatul.
Yeah. I remember Scion Amoris Imperator. That's relatively easy, but
It's snitches get stitches.
the glory of the Empire cannot be denied.
Ballin.
It's very self-important.
That's pretty much the traitor's hat. That's every traitor's
Yeah.
hat. Traitors, the ships of traitors are not fueled by Promethean, but by pure unadulterated ego.
You have your ego is effectively the same kind of gestalt force that powers an orcish warg.
Alright. Save and do the thing. Oh. Rogue Traders, there we go. Alright,
Fancy coat
Is
of
that
arms right there.
Marcus? That Marcus's personal one?
The first one is. The second one is the standard family one.
Oh, Marcus gets a little M with stars in it.
He can also, customize it further if he wants.
Cover it in bling and bitches.
Alright, so, what are you guys gonna do while you're waiting for the response from... Well, I suppose first I should ask, everyone back?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No, I'm not
So,
here.
I liked that Scow gal. I could almost hear her voice on the wind.
I'll let you know when I am back. I'm back.
Alright, so, what are you guys gonna do while you're waiting for the response from the Void Sentinel fleet, if any?
I put on my best uniform and armor. I strike up the meeting band. Yes, I strike up the band. And we try to look as good as possible.
However, do you do your best Jagger?
I mean, I could pose seductively on my throne.
Which
Any
is
other
3mm smaller than the other throne.
Oh, no. No. We are not going into this again.
The Throne Wars in Session 1 were great.
While you were gone,
Despite
there was a bit of shaving done off the edge.
Despite temptation, I didn't do that.
Then I would have
Alright.
taken her personal guards and used their skulls to prop up my throne.
But my preparation, I'm going to have someone starch the stitching in my cloak so it stands out.
Well, you were going to say, so it stands up. Just use it as a fucking kickstand.
Make sure that all of my medals are polished. All of them.
And a whole lot of minion polishing.
Getting there nice and deep like.
If we do not refract the sun when they look at us, we will be disappointed.
Alright. Anything
And
anyone
I'll
else does?
actually, I will also order, junior servants to take care of the uniforms of all of the soldiers that will be patrolling between the hangars and the bridge.
Do we hang Cat up to sober him up?
No,
Just
we
put-
put
I mean-
Cat in a closet until
Well,
really
I
dries
mean,
out.
You don't have soldiers per se. You have your armsmen, which are regular voidsmen. 1 in 20 are required to carry a weapon at all times, and you have your Praetorian Guard, which are actual, you know, proper people in
Yeah.
like
We have no
armor and stuff.
barracks yet.
We have elite armsmen, though, and they need to look their best.
Everything must be spotless. Everything, even clean the fucking servitors.
You tell the servitors to clean the servitors, and they all just have a fucking mind breakdown. They all try and
What
clean.
are we?
They all try and clean each other at the exact same time with mechanical precision, disrupted by their own cleaning motions. Sir, every servitor just died.
Well,
There
maybe
is a 1 meter wide mustard stain on the Imperial Knight. How did that happen?
fix it.
Uh,
And power wash the pilot until he is clean.
yeah. You've got to dry clean the knight and power wash the pilot.
Are they? Are they? So someone gonna tell him to look good to make an impression.
Shit, yeah. In fact, I guess that would be Seneschal Ruler's job to make sure that everyone is actually looking presentable.
Someone make sure Slade is wearing a shirt.
All right.
I don't care
Alright.
what shirt, just make sure he's wearing a shirt.
Doesn't
gonna-
I'm pretty sure he has some minor manifestation. All shirts explode when they touch his skin.
Yeah, that's actually, I remember that was session 1. You can try and put a shirt on him, it will explode.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Hey, he's like a baby space marine though.
Yeah. If anything, he'll put on his most formal, like, muscle oil instead.
This one is made out of pure fuck you.
Yeah. Why does your astropath smell like promethium and rainbows? He's very formal today.
Usually he just smells like the blood of his enemies.
What is he saying
Wait,
as
no, I
well?
have a visual
Can't you hear him? Flex.
I have a visual representation for how he smells. Hang on.
Okay, listen to what you just said. You have a visual representation
I do,
for how
yeah.
he smells.
Oh, we're all
Yeah,
gonna drop
you
tabs.
can do
Fuck
that.
yeah! It's synesthesia time, bitches.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay, do we want to let
Oh
Cal?
yeah, that smells.
Do we want to let Cal out of the basement?
Of course.
Just hear creepy laughter.
Oh, you haven't heard. You know, I think we're probably going to need to hide him. Yeah, just hide him.
Stay in the basement.
And then also seal the basement, surely.
See, that's totally a visual representation for how he smells right now.
Yeah,
God
yeah,
damn,
okay.
He smells fantastic.
Yeah, that is 100% it.
I didn't even like that anime, but I like that character.
Yep. Yeah, at some point, Ruler will
Wait, everything that's
Locate.
archaeotech, we need to polish it. Their tech marines might like to look at it.
Don't you worry, Ruler's got the bolt gun. It's out of the briefcase and like strapped over her back, like resting over the top of like a furry camellia-lined cloak. She's got all her finest salamandery stuff on it. It's glistening. Her own gun, despite the fact that it's covered in glistening gold, is covered in ash that never washes off, as does her armor.
The bridge, the engine, everything that's archaeotech, we need to polish.
Great. Yes, we'll hunt down Cat, give him a shakedown, make sure that he's got the worst of his hangover out of his system. You're gonna have to dress nicely. We're meeting some Marines soon.
It's either that, or I personally take him to the back room and beat the shit out of him until he sobers up.
If you could try that, chin
Name's
will
Name's
deflect
Toby.
every knuckle.
I mean, yeah, you can try that, but he has an insanely high WS. And a
Allow
and
me
an
to
arcade
rephrase that.
He has an
Everyone
Archaeotech
has
chin.
Everyone has better Archaeotech than you now. He has an Archaeotech sword.
Allow me to rephrase that. Have 3 men hold him down while I beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, there you go. But don't you know, every time you punch Cat, he just gets to quip a one-liner at you. It's his default.
Every time
Yeah.
you hit him, he just becomes more rugged. Oh God, what have you done? You're increasing the fellowship score with every punch.
My
So
God.
wait, he just are literally my fists making him better looking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
He-
you,
What is it?
It's Bruce Campbell. The more scars you put on
Yeah.
that chin, the better he looks.
I kind of want to do that now. Every time Cat takes a wound of damage, he goes up by like 5 fellowship, just
No, 5 is too
temporarily.
much.
Oh no, it's not really, because it's not going to do anything. It doesn't have command or anything like that.
oh no, tell you what, you know the critical effects that steal fellowship from targets because they really fuck their
Yeah.
faces up? Those just actually become benefits instead.
They do the opposite. Actually, I do have command trained. I just will never roll it.
Poor Bob. I remember I remember very little of Only Drunk, but what I do remember is Bob trying to roll command even though he had like an 85 in it.
And never succeeding, that's right.
I
You
had
were
a
like, the
92
sergeant
on
class
it.
must just be the worst, and then in Only More, it's like, everyone always has more damage and is always successful.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how that's supposed to work? Fuck.
My command is the same as Winter's psyker powers. It just never manifests because I can't roll high enough.
Wait, hide the Eldar.
She's already hidden. You have no idea where she is.
Yeah, she's in the, she's been in the ducts now for like the past 2 warp travels.
Okay, make sure she's more hidden.
I seal her in the ducts.
Should I roll charm or deceive to how good I look right now?
You can wear. I'll let you choose. Actually,
Are you hungover or sober?
you can. Yeah, you can hide. Deceive would be like hiding how hungover you are right now. Charm would be, nah, you're totally sober and you cleaned up good and look at all this stuff. Deceive is somehow when you're hungover / still drunk state, you manage to look just so fine.
All right, let's see your deceptions defeat that many doffs of inquiry. I can smell the booze.
Oh, not quite enough.
You can
Just one.
re-roll, Bob. You have that power.
He literally can't win though.
Yeah, I
Unless
literally
he
can't
crits.
win.
If he gets a 1.
But why is this contested with Rula? This is just against other people. Unless Rula
The
wants to,
ruler
like,
has literally
split
gone
them-
to basically make sure that,
Oh.
yes, everyone is in fact looking their best and is ready to fucking show off.
How many days ahead is this?
You don't
supposed to
know. Everyone's getting cleaned up while they're waiting for the astropathic transmission to maybe come back.
Okay.
Maybe come
All right. That's actually charm then. That's actually
You
charm.
have had time to recover then from warp travel, have you? Alright.
Yeah.
I don't need that inquiry.
Also, Scout, I think strictly speaking, that should have been scrutiny, not in.
Right.
You're not investigating. You're not
Also-
interrogating my character.
Also, you
Right.
can totally use scrutiny to like investigate an area. Everyone, Scout was like, "Nah, man, that's awareness." I looked it up. Nah, you can. That's scrutiny has 2 uses: finding out someone's lying to you, and like one of the examples is finding just used flamer hidden in a room. Scrutiny works both ways.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So they're also just both perception tests, so it's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, it depends on how much more you have in it. Like, I'm gonna have a lot.
Well, what I would suggest, the way you think of it, awareness is reactive, scrutiny is active perception.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah, regardless, I guess this is the first time Ruler's ever seen Cat looking all good and stuff. So, probably, like, does the head tilt, like, it... Huh.
Has anybody seen Cat? I can't find Cat around here.
Where is the hired help?
Yeah, just looking at her. You. That's an almost more impressive disguise than me. How much did Cat pay you to dress like him?
Is everyone polished?
That because remember, right now, Cat can flip the coin where it's trashy, and then it's trash Vin Diesel when he's drunk and the movie's making fun of him, and then there's like Sam Axe. I almost called him Vin Diesel.
You did kill him, Vin Diesel, the first time.
You did.
I did. I hate myself.
It's Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell. Why did I say Vin Diesel? I don't actually like Vin Diesel, but
I think he's not the guy.
Bruce Campbell. Yeah. I do like it. Because I don't really like it's because I don't
His
like
movies
the
are
Fast
shit.
and Furious movies. I hate the Fast and Furious movies, but
Same.
the one thing I do like is he plays so much D&D, and it's great.
He also did the Iron Giant.
Oh yeah, he's great in the Iron Giant. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'd look over Cat and I can't believe it. You look really good. I'll be damned.
So wait, are you telling me that Cat can go from Bubba Hotep to Sam Axe?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He goes from it.
Well,
It's
remember,
Bruce-
it depends on which episode it is for Sam Axe. So.
Yeah, well, it's like he's already it forced Ambrosia to fail a save versus swoon.
All right. During the preparations, Abby's going to be doing preparation. She's also going to give Ambrosia an incredibly long dissertation to read.
Oh my God, we're politicians. We have people to make speeches for us.
This is a dissertation, not a speech.
Oh, I bet.
What is this regarding?
You asked her to research Eldar and how to interact with them, know their mind. If this gives you on your next interaction with Eldar a +10 if you read the entire thing.
Oh. Good work, Abby.
She's been doing stuff in the background. She will inform you, in her usual cheery bubblegum manner, that she is now going to skip off and go through all of the Agarian Crystal Blade stuff with Cal. And, because you also ordered her to do all of that stuff with, like, the geodes and find out what they did. And also find out about that weird hovering ball. But first, you wanted her to basically disseminate all of her information that she has gathered about the Eldar over her many, many years.
Fair enough. That was so long ago I completely forgot about it.
It takes a really long time. Basically, this gives you an excuse. You have also unlocked Forbidden Lore Xenos Eldar with this, so you can actually take that now.
This is where you get
Forbidden
higher
Lord
scores straight off.
Xeno is already with specialties.
Yeah, but it'll give you a bonus if you take Forbidden Lore Xeno. It'll give you a bonus whenever you're interacting with Eldar, having read this dissertation.
Fair enough.
Or trying to. It's more like it's less interaction with Eldar and trying to figure out what's going on with like an Eldar structure. So with this, and if you have Forbidden Lore Xenos, when you're trying to look at like an Eldar structure or try to figure out what's going on, you can do Forbidden Lore Xenos for Eldar and then add a +10.
How exactly does that go with Ambassador Imperialis?
It'd probably stack.
Neat.
Ambassador Imperialis allows you to negate the penalty for unfamiliarity when interacting with them.
+20 versus interaction penalties, and you do get one encounter reroll fail tests.
So I'm really good at asking out Eldar for drinks.
As am I, it would seem.
And honestly, it wasn't actually that long ago. It's just that these 3 sessions ago was 2 months ago. So
Yeah, That's quite a while ago, Stray.
Well, I meant in session, like in game, not in in game. It wasn't that long ago. Sessions it was. Anyways,
Wasn't it weeks ago in game?
Yeah, it was weeks ago, but you're literally asking the entire like a dissertation on everything the Imperium knows about Eldar culture. At least the one person who knows about Eldar in this sector. You guys rolled, and she's basically the only xenoarchaeologist in the area. So because it's xenoarchaeology, it just gives you she's not like a xenobotanist or something like that, and she's not exactly well learned on like the way they think, or at least that's what she tells you. But she can tell you a lot about like their what's known about their history, their culture, what their ships look like, etc., etc.
Sorry.
So you can also lobby for this information later on to give you another +10 on other tests for Eldar as applicable.
Rula, also make sure that your finest brew is out for them, just in case you'd like something to drink.
Yeah, I can see about that. For the most part, probably what you already have in your stores is better quality than what we're producing for just turning a quick profit, though.
Most likely.
Remember, Void Kraken aren't thought to really exist and only thought to be tales, and you guys brought back evidence that they existed and traded that evidence for basically a warehouse full of top quality liquor.
Yeah.
I know, it's awesome.
An indefatigable supply of Theosophist's filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, you have the best alcohol already. We're producing just, like, admittedly we're using a third of the ship's possible, like, life support space for producing alcohol, but still, it's not going to be as high quality as that shit. You're fine. You've got that under control.
Rula, I want you to do an experiment for me. Take some Theosophist filter. I want you to condense it. Make it better.
I'm a seneschal, not a chemist.
I
just happen to have a recipe for firewater.
I put a hand on your shoulder. I believe in you. You can do it.
Alright, so that would be a trade chemistry roll, and to make it better, it'd need to be a nat 1, so have fun. No,
that wasn't bad. Yeah, no, I didn't. That's a -20 intelligence test. I rolled pretty good for a -20, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean,
She could
you rolled a 10,
distill
but
it
no.
to make it stronger.
Yeah, I don't make it better, but I don't ruin it.
Make it stronger.
It's
I add promethium.
stronger, not better.
I add promethium. Enjoy.
I mean, that might... Like, immune to most toxins is one thing, but yeah, that if anyone but a space marine were to drink that, yeah, no.
This is for
Are
the
you
space
telling me
marines,
that
though.
we made Mjord?
Yeah, but I'm assuming that Marcus wants to try it.
No, are you telling me that we made Mjord?
Made what?
I don't know the name of that.
It's the space marine drink that they can actually drink and get drunk off. But no, it's just because space marines have the gland necessary to filter out poisons, which makes them virtually immune to all poisons except ones concocted by Eldar or Nurgle. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I don't add promethium to it, but I essentially just roll back some of that firewater recipe and make the filter stronger. That's about the best that can be managed. I mean, I learned the firewater from like old records of theirs. It did have promethium in it, and I guess I understand why. If that's the case, like, we don't drink that because it would kill us all, but it was definitely in the recipe.
Good.
So who knows? If I just have them make traditional firewater and then make sure nobody mixes up the bottles, then yeah, maybe they'll be able to get drunk. But if someone mixes up the bottles, it will totally kill everyone who drinks it. So, you know, gotta be really careful about labels. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Very well.
Totally fine. Nobody's gonna die of poisoning, I'm sure. Saunters off.
All right. So, is that about it for your preparations, or would you like to do more? Would you like to know more?
Desire to know more intensifies.
Hmm. I got nothing.
What are we
Yeah.
rolling for?
No rolling. No, it's just if you think there's anything else that you want to do and prep.
Okay, is everything polished? Everything good? All of our astropaths and navigators are polished and cleaned and nice looking. All of us are nice and polished and buffed. Um, Drinks and snacks are out just in case that their serfs get peckish.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time everything's done, it probably feels a lot more like a party planner than anything.
Actually, one thing.
What is a civilized man if not a good host for their guests?
Stray.
Hmm.
Does it take more than 2 days for a reply to reach us?
Just about, yeah.
Okay. And uh, on the second day of waiting, Ambrosia is going to request Marcus come to her quarters.
Very well.
Brother, this is a concern that I had hoped would wait longer, but after what happened to you, it has been playing in my mind for longer than I am willing to admit. One of us must produce an heir, a new generation of a dynasty.
Yes. What are you getting at?
I am aware of your collection, brother. Are there any suitable birth that you could father a child on?
Well, there are quite a few of good breeding. Most of them are excellent breeding. Though, of the greatest, I'd have to say, easily. Hmm. Excellent question. Possibly the was the Sorotas in training? Maybe.
You
You don't have any Sorotas in training.
It's my lie. Go with it.
I mean, if it's a lie, then, deceive?
Yeah, if that's a lie, then I think that needs to be in the post-deceit scrutiny test.
That's pretty rubbish.
Very funny, brother. But, this is a serious concern.
Oh dear, you are being serious about this. Theoretically, then yes. If it came to it, there are a few that could potentially be good for an heir. Marion would be upset, but that is just the case.
How would Marion be upset?
He and Marion are lovers, remember?
Marion was also lovers with Taryn, and has also slept with Abby. This happened
Does
in
Marcus
sessions,
know
guys.
that, though?
Pretty sure, cause no, I'm pretty sure because it came up once that the one time that he actually got with the sororitas, it was in three-way with Marion, who Marion introduced him to.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah, we had an entire conversation about this. I remember.
Because, I mean, everyone knows that sororitas love kitties. It's just a universal fact.
You mean Foxos?
Well, sorry, yes. I mean, they like the ears. They like the fluffy. They're all furries. But they prefer the 17% Monster Girl quotient because it's the best quotient.
It is. It's the only pure quotient.
I'm pretty sure they just have peer Monster Girl. It's all of
Does
them.
that in any way change what Marcus said, though?
All right, Marcus. I'm generally willing for you to have anything anyone you want, other than like very obviously you can't have sororitas in your harem without actually having gone through and gone through the trouble to actually have a sororitas there. But you can make me a D100 to see if you have any nobles of good breeding that actually decided for some reason they'd want to be part of a harem.
Someone in your home is very excited about something.
Yeah, I know.
Fate reroll.
I mean, fate has never been more apt a phrase. You're really looking for some prime noble pussy right now.
100. 100.
It's actually it's a disguised Ogren. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I bet it's a
no,
real.
no.
It is a noble, but it's a butterface.
No, you don't have any nobles. You picked up a lot of these from New Tortuga. They are very attractive, but they don't have that noble breeding you're looking for. Tell you what. Either Marcus or Ambrosia, if they're actually thinking serious about this, can make me a knowledge rogue trader.
Would Monique be able to help them with that, since that's kind of her jam?
Monique would be able to assist or do the role herself and get an assist from someone else.
Knowledge rogue trader, you say?
I have that, actually.
Monique has that at plus 30.
Oh, damn.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was pretty certain Monique went down the knowledge routes because Ruler rolls higher seneschal stuff now.
Well, I built Monique as I would just build her anyway. She's very good at knowledges. But yeah, like Scholastic Rogue Trader Dynasty, right? That's what you want.
Yeah,
Stray?
Scholastic Lore Rogue Trader.
Any modifier? Can she bring in her peer Rogue
Okay.
Trader on that?
Inspire.
Well, a lot of things we forget when we play this games is not every thing needs to be challenging, because challenging is just a +0 in a challenging situation. If it's something like a situation like making a roll about rogue traders on a rogue trader ship surrounded by rogue traders, this will be a routine check.
Routine is
Is a +20. Wait, routine is modifier +10, I think. Yeah.
Can she have peer Rogue Traders?
Why not?
She also has peer government and peer nobility. If either of those also help.
No, not exactly for this area.
And Marcus is inspiring, so
All right. So,
Damn.
And she's a seneschal, so she adds an additional degree of success.
I fucking knew it.
So that's like
all right. So, I'm just going to now. Are you looking for possible bows for Marcus? Just specifically him.
either.
All right. Well,
Ambrosia would have told Monique to do it for Marcus, but Monique would probably do it for either.
all right. So, of the eligible personages in this area, there is the are available are there is Lord Captain Sylvia Locke of the Imperial Navy. She is said to be operating in the system in the one and only what is it called? Imperial World in the Coronos sector. There is the rogue trader Lady Elizabeth Orleans, who is also operating in this sector. There is the extremely roguish rogue trader Jeremiah Blitz in this sector, though he's not really. He's not really viewed with. He's very much puts the rogue in rogue trader. There is also Sebastian Winterscale, the heir to the Winterscale line. All right, and give me a second while I pull back. There's a couple more, but they're all scattered throughout like 5 books. All right, Caligos Winterscale. Anyways, there is also Aspis Corda, Joaquin Saul, Oif Armengard, Sarvis Trask, and Sarvis Trask in this area at the moment. All eligible, all eligible for siring a child with a rogue trader, or carrying one. Because you are beyond the bounds of most imperial nobility. Pretty much everyone out here is going. There aren't really any like planetary governors or imperial commanders, but there is one lord captain, and there are several rogue traders of note. Hello.
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 Hi.
Also, isn't there a second rogue trader captain? I thought like Admiral Horner's sister went.
The lord captain is actually Imperial Navy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Admiral Horn of the Imperial Navy, commander of Port Wanda, leader of Battlefleet Coronis.
Yeah, but
He has an unmarried sister, I thought.
I'm talking in the Coronos sector.
People who are reachable and bangable.
So.
I wonder if Amongod's still single.
There's so many books, alright? Literally every name.
Anna's there if you're brave enough. Is Anna actually noble?
No.
No. Not only brave but foolish. You'll get all that cockburn for nothing.
I don't think anyone else here is highborn, so.
I am in fact Voidborn, which is pretty much the opposite.
Yeah. Space tramp.
It's close. There is worse that you could be.
Like from a penal world.
Penal.
A penile world.
I mean,
I suppose there are a few eligible bachelorettes in the system.
Yes.
Though going after Corda, that would automatically put us on the bad side of Winter's scale, which, considering that particular warmonger, may or may not be a good thing.
Yes, I think that may be a poor choice, brother.
Yes, going after that yes, upsetting the warmonger might be a bad thing. Though Armengard, maybe. Perhaps. Yeah.
Scout,
Yes, sorry.
you love Archaeotech rolls, right?
Yes. What is it that you would like
do
to
me
know,
one of
sorry?
those. No, just do me an Archaeotech roll. Let's see if
Sure.
you succeed.
Okay.
To be fair, you kind of caught me at a weird time with all this talk here.
There's totally archaeotechnology for same-sex couples to have children.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you know... Depends. Who do you want to be the carrier, Marcus?
Excusez-moi.
Well, you see, you're thinking in very specifically just man on female dealies, but I mean, there's been archaeotech business for mixed gender couples and same gender couples to smash for thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years, come to think of it. I mean, heck, most of my race, as it were, is of some kind of oblivious mixed gender. It's just sort of the natural development of things when you have access to that kind of technology. I'm sure I could hook you up with something if you wanted to bang dudes instead. Or indeed be the carrier. Likewise, Ambrosia too could create an heir and not have to be the carrier if that was so her inclination.
Well, I more meant stuff like iron wombs, but this also works too.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but I've now decided I'm going to hijack that and make it way funnier.
How bizarre, and oh dear lord, I did not need that image in my head.
Aw, come on, you don't want some Mpreg all up in your Rem?
No, I just pictured that warmonger. Oh dear.
Which one, Caligos?
Yes.
Don't. But I thought you loved Caligos. Wasn't he your favorite?
He's a psychopath.
Exactly.
He is.
Yeah, so I really want to look over. I mean, I suppose that's the thought. I figured Ambrosia didn't want to have a kid because she didn't want to be, like, you know, tied down with carrying one up all up in her gutty works. But, I mean, when we stop off on Kion, I can pick some things up and then you just, you know, and then she makes a scissoring motion. Have someone else carry it for you.
We're not entertaining that thought right now.
No, I do believe that would suit us quite nicely.
Excusez-moi.
No, you're speaking in Eurocrates, can't again.
The House Lucier may not hold great swathes of territory, but they do have fine breeding.
Toothy Bork grin from ruler. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can ask a few people and get that thrown in as a freebie for helping us out. It is still technically archaeotech, and considering the ability to improve an entire race or people's or family lines, you know, geniality, is actually considered quite costly and incredibly rare, but, you know, I think that's a sacrifice we'd be happy to make.
Yes.
Cannot say that I ever truly considered this.
Rula will shrug.
I had not myself, brother. And then you almost got yourself killed.
It was only just mostly dead.
What?
I was only mostly dead.
I remember that. That's from what the Princess Bride.
Yeah, it's from Princess Bride. Mostly dead is slightly alive.
Yeah,
There's only one thing you can do to people who are completely dead.
bury them.
Rifle through their pockets.
All right. So, you guys still talking breeding?
For now, I think we've sorted it. Once we get the Archaeotech, Ambrosia will knock Monique up.
What?
Wait, who will? Hang on, I was typing some.
Well, Rula was brought up the stuff for same-sex couples.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you'll have to go to her world to get the Archaeotech for that.
Yeah.
So you're not even going to allow me to father children from my own line? How greedy.
If you can make yourself a match, brother, you can do it. And well, we can work out how the inheritance will go once that happens. But, no. Trust me. Monique would not be happy with you.
Rude, A. But secondly, having to do the inheritance dance for the second generation would be unfortunate. It would breed strong rulers, yes, but
We will come to an arrangement once children are had. And before we die.
which will most likely be very far off.
Yes, yes. But it
My
may not
mistake
be.
was only a minor setback.
Minor setback. Tell me, has Rula actually shown you how much you cost?
The only thing I need to know, did it cost more than the wedding party?
Yes.
Oh my.
Not overall, but in the short term, yes. I think that is settled for now.
Yes, the fact that you brought this to the consideration table will be considered.
Find yourself a wife, brother. Preferably one that you can acquire all of her assets from.
True. Taking over a family would be quite nice. Though settling down would be odd.
But we'll be a ways off yet, I think. I hope
What-
so, at least.
But what if they don't have my shooting arm?
Not by squeeze an arm.
I'm sure you'll manage, brother. You managed to avoid dying, or anyone else would. You can cope without someone having a shooting arm.
But what if he likes croquet?
Well, if he does, then you charge your wife with infidelity and you acquire a new one.
Very well. Alright, less spoken on that particular issue the more often. The very thought of croquet sickens me.
And around this time, a message from the Astropat's choir is funneled through to the bridge.
Oh, wonderful.
So I guess
Alright.
we'll head from whichever meeting room we were in to the bridge.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Stray, what books were you finding the rogue traders in?
There's one I don't exactly want you to read through because we're going to be playing through it, so I'm not going to tell you. But one of those was from Edge of the Abyss, and Edge of the Abyss had Winterscale, Corda, Saul, Armengard, and Trask. The other two I pulled out from the Warpstorm trilogy, which we're going to be playing, and I really like Sylvia Locke actually.
Oh no,
And,
I just wanted to know more about the trader so I could get an idea.
Oh, if you want to know more about the trader, no. If you read through these ones, they're actually going to tell you GM stuff. So just Edge of the Abyss for now, and I'll send you stuff
Okay.
for Sylvia Locke and Elizabeth Orleans.
Alright.
And when we get
Send
to
Caligus
that,
Winterscale too. Having him carry my child is a hilarious thought. Hello?
Hi.
Merzendi had taken to typing out what she wanted to say.
yeah, well, when we get to that, I can just once more pretend that I haven't read about someone else playing through that adventure. That's...
I know. I assumed that about the Warpstorm trilogy, so, but you know. So, anyways, this is the message that you receive.
At least it's not a cow.
Mrrr.
No.
Oh, that's good news right there.
The vigilance, the eternal vigilance of the void. Oh, duh. The eternal vigilance.
And I'll be
Then we
damned, the
have
call
Ed.
sign worked. Interesting.
Helm,
You had doubt?
set that course.
All right. So, you're going to need to it's in you're on the outside of the three star systems. Do you want to enter the warp and go and pop out closer, or do you want to sublight all the way there?
How long would sublight take?
A few months.
Fuck that noise.
Is it if it's far enough that warp travel is still possible, then let's do warp.
Sure. You know what? We've already done. We've already tested out my D10 of warp shenanigans twice already. I don't want it to get old, so we'll just go through. All right. So, you reach the edge of the system in along your heading. Do you proceed at full burn? And do you? I know you guys forgot, but I assume you also told them that you were a small fleet, as in 2 vessels. I know you guys forget about the other vessel, but
I don't forget about the Stargazer. Just it's an escort. It's
a cute little tugboat.
I mean, it's a frigate.
frigates are escort ships.
Yeah, I know, but he said little tugboat, and I said, well, it's a frigate, not a raider.
Fair enough. Yeah, we would have probably mentioned. We should have probably mentioned we have an escort, but serious detail about it is unnecessary. It's an escort. It literally can't do anything to any of them.
I know. It's still. And my other important question: what does your family do with your warranted trade? Is it back on Holy Terra?
Yes, that's the safest place to put it.
Original?
No. You can bring a copy of your warranted trade.
Well,
Did
yeah.
you bring a copy with
Yeah.
you?
But the original, that's probably somewhere in one of the decks that we haven't gotten around to completely re-exploring yet.
Well, probably on Terra, or at least the first copies on Terra.
Yeah, it's the very first.
Yeah,
The very first copy
first-
is His Majesty's
First copy
Sovereign.
is on Terra. But come on, Remy, you know our ancestors. They'd have wanted to bring the original with them.
Just to rub it in
Oh.
everyone's faces.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You guys literally. You guys literally haven't pulled on the right candlestick to find the secret door where it is. Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Not just the secret door, the secret sub-level where it is.
Yeah, the 13th deck.
Yeah, that's so shielded that it could take a Nova cannon around directly. The entire ship would be destroyed, but that would survive.
I'm still slightly hoping that we will one day get an adventure to just explore a hidden portion of our ship and find it.
I
Sure,
mean, the
we'll-
Craw
we'll
and
fi-
Cat are the only 2 that probably had accidentally stumbled upon it, but one didn't care and the other was too drunk to remember.
You do realize that we'd probably find so much fucking archaeotech down there?
Oh yes.
Like
Ah.
like an entire suit of artificer power armor.
No, not an entire suit of Artificer. Like an Artificer helmet, and then further down, a completely mismatched Artificer body piece that is so mismatched you can't actually wear them together. They don't lock properly. They were both really fancy and really important, and they were just shoved down there because it's the safest place. Nobody will forget about this, right? It's not like we're all going to get ourselves killed or anything.
It's not like we'll suffer like the first rerun of Wedding Crashers ever.
All right. So, you guys are going to take the couple weeks it's going to take to actually make it there?
Sure. How many days has it been since we arrived around here? Sorry. I am actually measuring our time in the void in days. That's
Okay, so how long were you waiting?
yeah. How long were we waiting? How long did it take to travel here, and how long will we be sublighting to the meeting place?
3 days, 1 day, a week, and 2 days.
So 13 days total. Oh, that's nice and ominous.
What? I didn't do that on purpose at all.
Scribble.
Wait, what?
I actually didn't. So calm down.
What happened?
Nothing.
From the time we arrived in this stellar cluster to when we'll be meeting the Space Marines, it's exactly 13 days.
Oh dear. Wait, that might just be their thing.
I will be back in
Keep in
a
mind,
minute.
Marines are weird.
You're weird. Alright, I'm assuming you're taking everybody, so let's just copy over all these tokens.
Oh god, of course, Ife is the Xenophilius one.
What?
I'm doing a Bachelorette, the 40K edition.
Okay.
Oh
And
boy.
of course she's the one that likes Xenos stuff.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Scow, make him stop.
I don't know. I suppose I do explain that I kind of attached a very, very ancient, essentially holy call sign to the message that was sent out because I knew it was going out to Marines. So,
Hallelujah!
so you know, if they mention anything about the dragons, that would be me, sort of.
Ish.
Well, more like the salamanders, but you know.
She keeps calling them the dragons, though.
Rawr.
Arr. And she will, thump her chest plate proudly.
And then Saban busts in yelling about the difference.
Slamlanders!
Hey.
What? Here,
Alright.
I zoned out and I come back to Slamalanders.
Yes, Slamalanders.
Mm.
Alright. So, after about a week of travel, you guys are, enter, let me pull you over. Void Sentinel Space. Let me make sure the dynamic lighting wasn't on here. Did I remember to turn that off? Yes, I was a good boy. There we go.
Very impressive. Very nice picture.
All right. Upon your arrival,
Stray?
Stray.
very to
Your
a
net is
sympathetic orbit
fuckered.
around.
We missed basically all that. Oh, he's gone. And hello again.
Stray, are you back?
Yeah, there was a bunch of glitchiness and we totally missed basically everything. The screen just changed and I was like, why did that happen?
I heard you make it to Void Sentinel space and then just random fragments of words.
Hang on. Let me just start turning off everything I have. Go away. You go away. Everything goes away now.
Burn.
So, you enter Void Sentinel space, and a very gruff voice orders you to take sympathetic orbit around the planetoid that the fleet is orbiting around. It's a relatively easy thing to notice, so I'm not going to bother making you roll. You seem to be put at like the most vulnerable orbit, so if you were to try anything, both of your ships would be blasted to oblivion, pretty swiftly. But, you kind of think that's a bit overkill since they have 3 battle barges and a few battle cruisers, so,
They have 3 battle barges. Most chapters only have 1.
And a significant number of chapters don't even have any barges.
Holy fuck. I like them already.
Yeah, these are good guys. Let's suck their dicks.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
we are gonna be slobbering so hard.
Man, I really want to let you see how I built this chapter, but I'll basically tell you that they function under Crusading chapter rules, so.
Oh, like the Black Templars.
Yeah.
So
And the fact that literally no one goes out this far in space to make sure they're following the codex.
Yeah, Ruler is observing with some wagging of tail. Now that is very cool. That is very exciting.
Roland, bring us in as they direct. Beep boop. Lower void shields, depower weapons. Let's make it quite clear. But we know entirely how easily they could kill us.
Should we also roll over? Looking directly at Rula.
Pardon, sorry?
I said, should we also roll over, looking directly at Rula?
I would slug another person for that, but I'll let it pass.
Do you order Tem to bite him?
How tall is Rula?
6 foot something. I haven't got it written down. Probably like
She's a
6.
tall boy.
Probably 6 even.
As Marcus towers over you.
How tall is Marcus?
6'8".
What? Okay.
Very tall person. Doesn't mean I won't punch you in the cock. In fact, if anything, it's just brought it closer. It would be the least gentle handjob you've ever gotten.
Could make an argument for Tortuga.
Again, yes, I did see the reports of that. No, I'll give you that. I don't think I can top that one, but still. Yeah. Regardless, let's see here. I suppose I will, share the salamander call sign. So I suppose it should be down to you to do the proper introducing and stuff. I'm here if you need an extra word person.
We have already given our greeting. We wait for them now.
Imperial vessel, His Majesty's stern gaze. Stand about and be ready to be teleported. And you will be informed that you are being thoroughly scanned.
I would just like to interject that I do apologize. I am only 6'5", not 6'8". I looked at the old sheet.
Only 6'5". That's fine then. You're not that
Only
tall.
6'5", you know. So yeah, your ship is being tightly scanned by this ship. Bloop. Oop. Nope. Wrong one. Blip.
Oh, Dickus Giganticus. Okay.
Yes.
Big Mister in the middle. Yeah.
Big Dick Mystic?
Alright. Cat, Anna, Rula, form up with myself and Marcus. Roland, you have the bridge.
And Winter's dead.
No, I was making jokes.
Should we bring the band?
No, brother.
Might be a bit much.
Are you going to bring anything with you?
How about some people to make us look more important?
Also, that big the keg of possibly Get'em Crunk mixed with filter.
Yes, we're gonna be bringing some of the Praetorian Guard, only very lightly armed, and one of them will be carrying gifts.
Remember, there are only like 5 Praetorian Guard at all. So...
Yes, and there's gonna be 2. Yes, and out of those 5, 2 of them are gonna be carrying the gifts.
I thought there were 10.
No, there are only 5.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
This
5 per.
No, there are only 5 at all. You had your like 5 champions, but you didn't organize them into an elite guard. I organized mine into, elite personal guard.
And then she outfitted them all with hell guns and carapace armor, I believe.
I think my one champion has a hell gun. Or
Yeah.
triplex, I don't remember.
Yeah, your like absolute chief winner got a gun, but you also then sent her back to her company, and then I think her company sent her to my competition, and I just nicked her.
I thought it was the other way around.
In any
No.
event.
Yours was run before mine, but yeah.
In any event, you feel. Have any of you been teleported before?
Yo.
Let me make a roll, because it's actually a maybe.
Marilla is starting to look excited about seeing some Marines.
You know what I couldn't find? I couldn't find a command cathedral that didn't look cool earlier. Really made me sad.
No, Ambrosia hasn't actually been teleported before, but she has probably seen it happen.
All right. So for those of you who haven't been teleported before, man, this is tingly. Like, oh my god, this is weird. But in any event, the 5 of you get teleported and you end up on the command cathedral of a grand cruiser. And an immense figure is sitting upon the command throne in the center.
Hell.
Are you alright there, Bob?
Yeah,
Alright.
I stood up and it pulled the switch for my
Meat
headset,
grinder.
and it pulled my head the wrong way, and it hurt my ears because it made a sound. Oh my god, Sanders.
Alexander!
An immense figure is sat before you in black armor, as dark as the void itself, and ornamented with gold filigree without. This appears to be a figure of great import, as the room is filled with other Marines, but the ones standing before him are equally, well, not equally, but are impressively armored, wearing gold filigreed robes over their armor, and it's very, very well kept. And across his lap is a mighty thunderhammer. And he looks upon you with a very imperious impression, gazing upon you with one red, baleful eye.
Which activates and kills you.
I am Alexander Set, chapter master of the Void Sentinels, sons. Oop, hang on. And my thing froze. Great. That took all the gravitas out of it.
Alexander Set lags for a moment. I am. Do not pay attention to the man behind the throne.
As a fly slowly buzzes up and lands on his nose, and he just stares at it for a little bit. Just like,
And then blasts it off his nose with his own baleful eye, like a perfect aim. Doesn't even skin him. God, could you imagine that, having a baleful eye and then finally be like, oh, there's a fly buzzing around me, it's really annoying. Just fucking tears a hole in your wall.
Oh my god.
Anyways,
awesome.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Alright. Sons of Dorn, I have heard your message and have seen its markings. How did you get an Astarte signal?
Ambrosia will step forwards and bow. Lord Set, I am Lady Orchides. We came into the possession of that signal through the Lady Rula of Kion. Her planet has long been assailed by the enemy, and that the sons of Vulcan came to their aid. She tells the tale better than I. And Ambrosia will gesture to Rula.
Yep, she will proudly turn the corner of her cloak up to just ensure that the insignatory is all visible in all of her, and she, pats her little sanctified weapon as well.
Step forward, abhuman.
She will do so. Is there anyone else, actually in this location?
Oh yeah, I just didn't because the colors of this chapter are black and gold, and I couldn't really find any good art for anyone else. Yeah, this entire room is filled with Space Marines, including like I said before him are 4 other Space Marines, and they appear to be the honor guard for the chapter master. They all appear to be wielding power halberds.
Very well. Yes, it happened to be that she pauses, nearly saying Forge Father, the Emperor's righteous flaming salamanders once chased a great Xenos ship, chaos-worshipping monsters, to our planet Kion whilst we were still in the process of essentially settling the planet. And terraforming had been in progress for quite a while. That would explain our abhumancy. Not as interesting a tale. Both ships were damaged. The Salamander's own was incapable of finishing the job of dealing with this Xenos ship, which landed still intact enough to continue spewing out daemons, beasts of the warp, horrible things. A great wall was constructed around it until reinforcements could arrive, a great encirclement. That way has been held for a very, very long time. A great wall around the madness and the darkness, sending in holy flame and heavy metal into the faces of evil. They are effectively our connection to the Emperor, a religion in and of themselves, in as close a way as could be compared. That wall will fall in time. We originally went back out into the stars in order to gain assistance. An apothecary still guards. She pauses for a moment. Relics, as he put it, of his fallen brothers.
Oh no, he's dead.
No. He is the one who collected all of the gene. Well, quote unquote, all the relics.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
He he doesn't still guard them. He gave them in stasis, and then did a last futile charge to try to destroy the vessel.
That's right. Sorry. Yes. These relics now are held by our own. The apothecary's own life is lost. My ship itself is made of salvage from the Salamander's own. It remains on the Urukide ship as well. It is from its logs from which the call sign derives.
I wish to see evidence backing your claim.
Very well, and she will pull out her datapad and go to a much opened many-seen folder. Can I see anywhere that looks like an induction for a view screen, or do I just, hand off the datapad to a guard?
No, this all seems very flat and open. This is the command center. You're basically standing in front of the navigation, and he's sitting in the command throne, quote unquote, captain's chair.
Yeah.
So a honor guard will reach forward, take it from you, and hand it to him, and the message will play.
Yep.
he'll watch the entire message with, well, it seems to be impassiveness, but Space Marines aren't, especially Sons of Dorn, aren't exactly known for their
As we've
emotive
all,
states.
as we've
And
all,
this is something that I'm willing to tell because, you know, the Uruquides would know this being from Terra, and the Imperial Fists are the recruit from Terra. So,
From time to time.
well, yeah, they recruit from Terra and basically every world in the Imperium because they're the one true Imperial chapter that makes them the best. Shut up. Aside from their weird masochistic tendencies. Calm down, guys. So,
I can't say anything salamanders for themselves. I mean, not quite to the extent of the Imperial Fist, but
yeah. Well, the Imperial Fist put themselves in a giant body glove that just inflicts pain. It's weird.
that literally burns
Into it,
all of
yeah.
your nerve endings. Yeah.
So,
Gross.
after watching the thing, he will hand it back to a honor guard who will hand it back to you. This seems genuine. I would see the construction of your ship as a final confirmation of your claim. But if this is true, then your world has been claimed as a protectorate of the Salamanders chapter of Space Marines.
I will send it to my vessel, Lord Set. They will prepare berths for whatever inspectors you wish to send.
A squad will be teleported directly to the bay where this is kept. We already know where it is. The scans revealed an unusual ship docked in your moorings that weren't the usual fighters and bombers of a dictator class cruiser.
Then, with your permission, I shall tell them to prepare for guests.
He'll give you a nod.
Assuming we're still in Vox range, which admittedly is slightly iffy.
You are. You know, it'll take like a minute or so for it to reach your ship, but
Ambrosia will give instructions for Roland to have that docking bay cleared of all non-essential personnel, and for those that remain to prepare for the arrival of Astartes, basically.
you know, there will be a double, an audible double take on the other side of the line before your order is acknowledged and spread through your ship.
Once I have the acknowledgement, I'll turn off the Vox and return the nod to Lord Sat.
Now, that cannot be the only reason you have tracked down my fleet, and that in itself is a question that must be addressed with utmost severity. Our independence in the void is paramount. How did you come to find us?
Which question would you have me answer first, Lord Sat?
In order, if you would.
We are aware that brothers of your chapter have been active in the Agarian Dominion. We saw your chapter livery engraved into the ground. Remy, if you want to go, I'm staying quiet for you to go.
No, I'm sorry. My sound just completely shit itself there for a second.
Oh, okay.
All right, so what did I miss?
I don't
Alright,
know
so
how long you've been
you want
unable
me
to
go
hear
through
things.
how long? Yeah.
What you heard?
Ram. I guess that's.
I got through Rula's explanation. I got through Alexander saying that they're a protectorate of the salamanders and that they'll assist. Got through your conversation about how the sons of Dorn are awesome, even though they're masochists. Yada yada yada. And as soon as uh, Ambrosia started her thing, it just died.
Okay. So, my thing, my first thing was just telling the crew to get ready to accept, in, to, like, accommodate for the Astartes to inspect Rula's old vessel. And then the second thing, he was asking about what else brought us here, and yeah, I said we saw his chapter's library engraved into the floor in the Agarian Dominion.
Okay. From what we've seen in the Agarian Dominion, we have seen your work and some of the creatures that lie there. That is not all. In the past, in our crew, we carried Xenos. One was sanctioned, one was questionably sanctioned, and they, granted, it was under my mistake, under my eye. They released something from Agaria, something ancient, something devastating.
And pray tell, what do you mean devastating?
Have you ever heard the legends of the doom of Agaria?
Only faintly. That civilization was dead even when we came to this sector.
Long ago, something destroyed the Agarians, which was a civilization that existed in the expanse long before any of us, long before the Imperium. And they sealed it. And through their mistake, it has been released, or beginning to be released. We have need of assistance potentially to figure out how your men defeated such a lesser creature, and possibly your expertise in defeating this creature.
And my last question.
Once the creature was released, it spread far across the planet it had been entrapped in a matter of minutes and hours. It was not hard to see how far its devastation would spread. We returned to Footfall, and there I sought the Council of Witches. They showed me cards from the Emperor's Tarot. First, the Despoiler. Then, a card of the Dominion itself crumbling into dust. Then the star which they burned into my eyes, the same star your ships are currently in orbit of. And finally, the card of a space marine, the defender of mankind. And the card they showed bore your livery and your colours, Lord Zat.
At the mention of the witches, his impassive face cracks a frown, and then he looks to you with severity to wither the soul. Beware dealing with those witches, for when you gamble with them, the price is often paid with your own soul, rogue trader.
I know that well, Lord Zat.
Soul of one would be a very great bargain for the souls of all, if such a creature is let loose. You only know the stories. I saw it.
You
And the
saw it.
cards
When it was released, we were on a precipice. I was thrown off, fell many hundreds of meters, nearly died. And in my state between life and death, as I was being repaired, I began to have visions. I saw it. I saw how it came to be. I saw what it did. I saw how ancient it was. I saw what it could do.
Your mind has touched an ancient Xenos threat. How is it you still stand there not drooling on my floor? For that matter, how did you manage a fall that far? It matters not.
Through
If
the
this
grace
is
of the Emperor
true,
of mankind, I stand here before you to tell my tale.
if this is true, I would have a librarian look through your mind so that we may see the foe that we are up against, and perhaps to test whether this is really your brother, Lady Ambrosia.
If you would, I would submit to any scan that you would have on me, but I would warn: what would be seen cannot be unseen.
We are the Void Sentinels.
You're
Do not
cutting out
worry,
there.
boy. Damn it!
Scout, would
Yeah.
you bring us across to US Central, please?
Sure, let's give it a go.
Your monologue is really good. It's just I don't want to hear it chopped up.
I have everything closed. Why?
Shitternet.
Done.
Hello? I'll
Changed.
be back.
Yep.
It's Comcast, man. Not even once. Although I don't have a choice because it's just Comcast here.
Comcast. Once and only.
Yep.
So, as you were saying?
We have stood in the dark for 9 millennia, boy. We know what it means to stare into the void. We will scan your mind, see what foe we have to face, and measure your purity. If you stand up to our tests, and if this creature truly is the villain that you claim it to be, well, it is our charge to hunt down all all Xenos threat who would prey upon humanity. That is why we are here, sent by our father himself as his final act of vengeance against the aliens who took advantage of humanity during the chaos of the betrayal.
I fear you have never experienced a threat this ancient.
We shall see.
Ambrosia will step over and clap Marcus on the shoulder. You are my brother. Go and show them what you know.
I will show them all.
So say we all.
Alright. A door will open and a great towering figure will stride forward, and Chapter Master Set will gesture to Marcus, from Marcus to him. And then you, Ambrosia, Kat, Anna, and Rula feel that familiar tingling again, and you are teleported off of the bridge. So, this might be a good place to stop, but I'm up for going for longer. Would you guys like to leave it here, or would you like to go a little bit longer tonight?
I say it's good. I think it's getting good.
I would like to get the results of Marcus's interrogation before we call it.
I was gonna call it a 40K MRI, but okay.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
You're getting brain probed by a librarian.
Oh, that sounds
Oh
like
my-
fun.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so girthy feeling his brain in my brain.
All right, so yeah, we'll go for a bit longer, but
Will he be
after
gentle?
talking a lot, I want to get like a cup of water or something like that. I'm thirsty, so let me grab a drink of water and we'll continue. Drink to water, yes,
Alright.
that's what I meant. Mm-hmm.
I suppose I should look up a librarian 40k.
They are the psychic space marines.
Right, let's have a peep.
They are very rare.
Yeah.
Excruciatingly well trained. And kind of terrifying.
Yep. And I've got their little wiki thing up. Oh, I'll be damned. Yeah, the very first quote is the chief librarian of the salamanders.
Ooh.
I could pulp your flesh and snap your bones in less than a second, and without so much as lifting a finger. What is the power of technology compared to that?
What was that?
That was Velgona, chief librarian of the salamanders.
Yeah. All right. So, let me make sure this name is right.
By the way, Stray, I will say I love that picture. It looks very imposing.
Which one? Alexander's?
Yes.
That's actually I couldn't find any good art, so that's actually an Imperial fist. So
Really? An Imperial fist in black armor?
yeah, I'll show you the art. I got it from hang on. Rogue Trader. I think it only looks like it's black, which is one of the reasons I liked it, but hang on.
I can see like blue on the inside of his collar there.
Character.
Blue. By the way, Scout, blue is just the color of the librarians.
I did seem to notice that like even a salamander librarian is like a bright ass blue from the look of it. It's because the very first picture is an ultramarines librarian. I'm like, oh yeah, the blue guys.
There we go. It's in Rogue Traders.
Literally any librarian, his main color will be blue. He'll have his chapter livery on his shoulder pads and maybe on his cloaks and so on, but you know, for the most part, He'll be
Oh,
brave.
that is sweet as shit. I love it.
Yep, he is delivering a heckin'.
Whatever happened to the Imperial Fist? They used to be Games Workshop's favorite.
Matt Ward.
Matt Ward.
True.
The replaced with the blueberries everywhere.
So,
I mean,
yay!
No, Ultramarines.
Oh, the Smurfs.
Yes.
I mean, they're generic.
Well, we can get into why the Ultramarines, how they should have been portrayed later, but
Yeah. Now, some of them actually have
because
portrayed them very well.
they're not a bad chapter. They're just bad at how they were handled. They were supposed to be the chapter that didn't specialize in anything, but instead specialized in everything. So you could call them to do basically anything. They'd be okay at it, but not as good as, say, if you had called the Imperial Fist to defend the planet.
Yeah, or
They were supposed to be jacks of all trades that could handle any situation.
Yeah.
But not as well as the ones that specialize in that situation.
Exactly. But instead, Matt Ward took that to mean they're the best at everything ever, and they are better than everyone at everything they do because Space Marines. So, yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sake, I think it was Dorn himself who designed the Imperial Palace.
Yep.
But getting back to on point.
All right. So, Rem, you are taken down into the bowels of the ship to a great, imposing figure standing in what you'd probably recognize it to be Terminator armor. You're a noble. You've seen this stuff before. You've probably actually been to a Triumph before. So, a
Triumph?
figure. Yeah, a Triumph. It's when like a successful crusade or like victory or celebration goes down, and so the
Marines on
Imperial
parade.
Fist will. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, he's hooked up to a great amount of cybernetics, which seem to augment his appearance. And out of every space marine you've ever seen, he seems to radiate just. He seems to be very ancient. His face seems to. He bears more lines of age than you've seen on any space marine, and upon his hip he carries a great sword. And you stand before him, and he tells you, "You may want to sit down, child. I am the chief librarian, Vovaces Rex, and this may be a tad intrusive."
I kneel.
All right. He places one great hand that's like the size of two of your heads on top of the crown of your head, and then you feel a great pressure on your mind. I assume you're not going to try to. I assume you're not going to try to resist.
I mean, could I resist? It's too damn girthy, man. It's already
I
in.
mean, you could try to resist a literally maxed out psyker if you wanted. I mean,
it's already that big and that in, man. I'm just gonna let it happen.
all right.
If I need to take a shower afterwards, so be it.
A great presence goes through your mind, and you can just feel the his mind somehow seems like calls to memory the ancient cathedrals on Terra, and hearing songs and liturgies only half remembered from your time in when you were younger and your parents were instilling in you the importance of the Promethean cult. You can even somewhat hear the
Promethean
first.
cult?
I mean, not the Promethean. The the Imperial Creed, and you can you can almost feel the rage pouring off of the first incinerant priest you ever saw when you were a child, standing on the in the pulpit, firing huge gouts of flames from what appeared to just be his hands.
Oh god, he's still alive. How is he still living?
And so he goes through your mind and pulls up these great and terrible images that threaten to shatter your soul before, but they don't seem to be as weighty as they were when you first experienced them, or when you tried to think back on them when you woke up. It seems like his great psychic presence is enough to shield you from the worst of it as he goes through your mind.
Is it like
And
a
then
big psychic fuzzy sweater against the evil?
And then, as he sifts through and looks at the enemy through your eyes, he also, when he's done, he lays those memories to rest and starts sifting through the soul itself, and the cracks that formed into your mind that are only held together by sheer willpower. And then his presence falls back from you, and willpower test.
Any bonuses?
Willpower.
Challenging willpower. All right. So you manage to keep your senses about you and don't collapse unconscious on the floor. But you are already in an incredible amount of pain since you just came out from, being glued back together like a week ago, and your mind is weak enough as it is. So he will nod at you. That is all I needed to know, child. The apothecary will take you back to the bridge.
Very well, sir.
All right. You are helped back to the bridge, and with the apothecary standing behind you, following you there. And Alexander looks to him, and the apothecary says, "Their words are true, chapter master. There is a great threat that requires the chapter's attention far to the galactic east. And as for the boy himself, have no fear, he is still pure." Alexander will nod. "Hmm, I did not expect that, Master Urquides. To have survived what you have claimed to experienced, what you have experienced, must require, not must require, does require an Herculean amount of fortitude. I am impressed that you managed to get through it so far. You will be returned to your ship."
What I must do in the name of the Imperium, what I must do in the name of man, what I must bear, what we must all bear. It takes the strength of all.
Well said, Lord Trader. And you feel a tingly sensation, and whoop, you are back on your ship.
You feel a tingling sensation, and that's an erection. Turns out you are gay for librarians. He takes off his glasses and his head does that thing like boom on wow.
I mean, that's canon.
Okay. So, Marcus Rhea materializes aboard the bridge of your ship after what to him he thought must have merely been minutes, but to what the rest of you has been more than an hour. All right. And appears aboard your ship. Well, mostly sound, if a bit paler than he was before. Marcus, you really need a nap.
They sent you back then, brother.
I would snark at you, but I need my rest.
No, there's no need for snark. Ambrosia will step over and take his hand. You have done more than I expected you ever to. When you are yourself again, it is yours.
What is mine? It's all been mine.
Act like that, and I will give a retraction, brother.
I wonder if
rest.
I wonder how they received our gifts.
Just see like two
Did they even
fucking
take
space
one?
marines chugging. Can I look around? Is the keg there, or is it been left behind on the ship?
Only the 5 of them were teleported. The 5
Oh.
of you, anyways.
Oh, look at the keg. Well, I should probably go pour this out.
Nah, I've poured it into the engine. It'll eat like the drink.
I mean, it's
Don't do that.
I mean,
I mean,
to be honest, a good portion of this is engine fuel.
At this point, I just sit on my
For a
throne
warp engine?
and I rest on my throne.
It's about 28%, give or take, Promethium.
Promethium is not fuel for a warp engine nor a plasma engine.
Oh, what is it for? Flamers? Just flamers?
Flamers and small vehicles.
I was going to
Which
say, I'm
extra-
familiar with lots of Promethium being used.
A proper void ship will run its plasma engine on hydrogen. And its warp engine... Well, best not to discuss that aboard a void ship. It might get hungry.
Alright. So, which scene are you talking about, Mercendi? I saw that, but would you like what would you like to be done?
Just making sure that got done before you
Okay.
end the session.
Alrighty. Alright. So, I think we'll call the session there. Next week, well, not next week, but next time on Rogue Trader, we will wrap up you guys talking with the Void Sentinels. We'll see how they respond to the situation on Kion and the Doom of Agaria. And yeah, that seems about it. Possible boss fight, and then Scout's Home might get some help.
Yay. Bork.
Hopefully we can make friends with the Space Marines.
So, is there anything anyone would like to bring up before we draw the session to a close and dole out XP?
I thought it was kind of a little weird. We had a lot of segues, but I think the session overall went very well.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. Generally, the way to tell if it went well is if anything terrible did or didn't happen.
I like the funny segues. That's what I think.
I was vaguely disturbed that Ambrosia brought up, or at least in the text there, at least momentarily brought up an incest joke between Marcus and Ambrosia.
A solution was offered before we went Targaryen. It's fine. Everything is fine. Also, we have a janitor on the crew. We could do that anyway, and nothing bad would happen.
Yeah, and the stream didn't see because it was PMs, but it was pretty funny. Marcus went down to ask Argus exactly what was going on with the mushroom he sneezed up, and then Argus just started laughing.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. We're gonna have Oompa Loompas in the ship in any minute.
All right, so because I actually, it might not have been as fun for you guys, but I liked the ship because I like the Void Sentinels. All of you get 500 XP. Have fun.
Yay!
Go wild.
500 extra or 500 total?
500 double. So,
Cool.
500 total. Just 500 total?
I mean, there's 400 session XP, and then you finally made it to the Void. Would you like to lobby for more?
I mean, I don't have anything particular to lobby. I don't have any particular reason to lobby for more, but if we got even
Do we all slightly get more experience because we were subjected to Marcus's backstory?
Or the drunk cat shenanigans for a while.
If we got even 50 more, we would hit our next advanced career opportunity, and
You
those
know
are
what?
almost all done, and people could take those now.
You know what? Because I did forget how funny it was. I'll give you guys another 100 XP because it was just there was real funny parts in this session. So 600 all around.
Woo!
You guys can take your next advance. So
Yes, everyone. One of the documents in Rogue Trader 2.0 is advanced careers. I will relink that so you don't have to fight through all the pins.
Right.
Admittedly, I'm so glad you have pins.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all now pretty much. We all now qualify for one of those. They don't currently have all the fluff listed by them, but you can take yourselves a look. They do all have a page reference into a book if you want to get all of the fluff and bullshit. Yeah.
All right. So 600 experiences session. You guys all qualify for your advanced careers, and that's it for me. Thank you all for playing.
Yes, and thank you as usual for running. And if you're watching in the stream or you're watching in the VOD, I hope you have yourselves a lot of motherfucking good time, and do take care.
Like and
Bye,
subscribe.
stream.
Show stream.
Bye.